doesn't know where the T's are. He spots the man in construction. It's just him versus Water, and he gets the kill. And he's got a
really
good
well
user.
done from Dal
That's
there.
a massive clutch there from Dal with the 3K. And Dal, you know, showed up on Mirage, and he's turning up again here in Inferno.
I mean, Cambridge threw that away, in my opinion. They had the bomb planted. All they had to do was sit and sort of wait. And Dobby got caught out quite foolishly. And yeah, then Dal kind of cleaned up with the two-man.
I don't know what Polo was doing there at the end. He was just watching construction. He got caught completely off guard. He was in such an exposed spot.
Yeah.
Just a very basic error, you know, positioning error. And these kind of slips are going to cost them rounds. But, you know, it's only round 7. 4-2 is not at all out of reach for Cambridge. And it's exactly what they need, because they've got to make a comeback on this map, or their varsity dreams are over.
I mean, if Cambridge can get a couple more rounds and they have a good CT half, you know, the dream is still alive.
And that's going to be a bit of spam down Banana from Glasses, and he gets a good bit of damage onto John, who's got the AWP. Like, there's a double AWP actually coming out here from the T's, and let's see if they can put this to use down mid and Banana, but they haven't really found anyone.
I mean, this is really cool, actually, what the CTs have done. They've thrown a smoke from CT spawn over into Banana, and it allows their players to rush down Banana and basically just get complete dominance of Banana. And look, there's nothing they can do here to get into Banana.
John desperately trying to get some picks to the smoke, but it's not going to happen. But meanwhile, over at the A-bomb site, Dobby's able to get a pick there in mid onto the button, and this perhaps, you know, opens something up for them. Yeah, they are going to take it towards A, but what they don't know is that, you know, there's still another 2 men on the site. It's perhaps not as open as they think. They're going to smoke off lead and push down checking boilers. It's just good safe play coming here from Cambridge. They get the flash in the man on site, and Dobby's able to trade it out from apartments. Dal gets Dobby, but Lil Jon is able to get the trade back on Dal, and that is the A-bomb site completely.
Yeah, lovely execute onto A there, and great entry frag by Dobby. Let's see if they can hold this. It's just rest of the
on a Glasses from Graveyard.
In a 1v3 now.
And this is Lil Jon AWPing pit. Just be hoping Warfaren steps out with just 21 HP and is able to pick up Restalion. Restaline. If a single shot got through there from either of them, it could have gone differently. Cambridge are able to pick one up.
Yeah.
And again, this is looking a hell of a lot better for Cambridge.
I mean, I think Cambridge probably should be aiming towards that A-bomb site. It's a little bit weaker. They've got a really good hold on Banana, the CTs. So we'll see if they kind of edge more towards A now. See what they're doing. So, yeah, Lil Jon's just going to try and get a pick on mid.
It looks like the T. There's a very, very passive T setup coming out here with 3 men standing in ult mid and the bomb down in spawn. Like, not even thinking about a bomb site yet. And it's matched by an equally passive Oxford setup with no men in Banana. 1 peeking mid, 1 in apartments, and 1 on the A.
Yeah, I think Oxford might be a little shook now, which is why they're kind of, you know, standing back, playing a bit more passive, just a little bit more sensible.
Yeah, perhaps they're going, come on, guys.
Yeah, come on, let's
stop messing around.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's actually play Counter-Strike.
Yeah, so I think what the T's are going to do here is try and bait out some nades and smokes, and there you go.
That's a really good smoke. You see, often that smoke comes out at the start of the round, but there they've delayed it until 53 seconds. That's pretty much going to be up for the rest of the round. So by saving that smoke, they've really sort of siphoned the T's here.
Well, it's not quite. A smoke does only stay up for 10 seconds, so it won't be the rest of the round. But it's, you know, it's enough time to delay the T's.
It's forced the round into
I mean, they need to make something happen now, T's. They've not made anything happen yet, and it looks like they're going to execute on A.
Oxford sniff it coming, and they've got 4 men on the A bomb site. Cambridge, watch out. This could be quite a difficult take unless they get the frags. Going for the 1 pixel there on the corner, but doesn't.
And here we go.
They're just going to spam while flashed into apartments, but they don't get it. 5-7 and Lil Jon pick up Button and Restaline. Meanwhile, Polican returns onto 5-7, but Warfaren picks up the top frag at Dal. Polican falls as well to Lil Jon, and that's loads of frags going over for Oxford. It's going to Oxford, and Cambridge get the bomb down. And it's just Glasses and the P250 to try and make this.
Yeah, that was a really nice late execute from Cambridge, actually. They did really well to get anything out of that round. There was only 30 seconds left when they actually started flashing and smoking, and they just stormed the site. So well done. And Oxford kind of, they're going to need to play a little bit more passive now. Maybe, you know, patience really is what they need, I think, going forwards.
And just by the way, there is a quick pause coming out here from Oxford for a mic failure. This gives us a bit of time, you know, to see what's going on, and it's all tied up at 4-4 in round 9.
Yeah.
Cambridge sort of really having quite an impressive showing here. They weathered the silly YOLO tactics from Oxford, or even return fire with some of their own, and the additional bit of confidence they're playing with really seems to have Oxford on the back foot now.
Yeah.
I mean, only 4 rounds out of 9 on your CT side. I mean, and their economy is on the verge of well, it is broken.
Yeah, I think Oxford are going to be a little bit worried now. Obviously, there's still a lot of rounds to play with.
But Cambridge have got a genuine chance here of taking this to 3 maps.
Yeah. And what I want to see now from Oxford is sensible plays, no more silliness, no more sort of negevs coming out, anything like that. We don't want to see that. I want to see kind of just passive play, defending those bomb sites. And this is where it's going to come down to sort of the more skilled players on Oxford's team, I think, being able to defend the bomb sites, really.
I think perhaps they've paid for the lack of seriousness they've indicated in their attitude towards this match.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Cambridge are.
What's the proverb of the tortoise and the hare? They're sort of like the hare.
Is there is a
they're
bit
getting
of
a bit cocky.
Situation. Yeah, they go for a nap.
And they fell asleep, and Cambridge are catching up.
Absolutely Shrek by the tortoise.
Yeah, exactly.
So basically, if you're listening Oxford, you're a tortoise. Sorry, if you're listening Cambridge, you're a tortoise. But I don't know why maybe they just did the stream with the tortoises.
Tortoises are alright though, they're okay. I like tortoises.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why?
Don't know, they're cool animals.
Are they?
Yeah.
I've never seen a swag tortoise. I've never seen a tortoise in bling. Not particularly cool.
Well, I have, so...
Whoa. Where do you get it? Where do you even get it from? Do you think there's somebody out there who's like an artist and tortoise bling maker? It could be your job.
I'm sure there are sort of people out in Dubai or somewhere with kind of diamond engraved tortoises.
The home of the rare, the lesser spotted swag tortoise.
Yeah. That sounds like maybe a Pokemon or something.
And Glasses is trying to spam Kappas in chat, but I'm afraid Glasses there are no Kappas in CS:GO chat. What do you think about the decision there in that last round to try and go for it with the P250?
It was kind of
fun.
Yeah, it was a silly choice.
I think you would have been much better going for exit frags. I mean, when the bomb explodes at the end of a round, it can kill the T's, of course. So they have to leave, and that's the point. You can sit in library or somewhere and pick up a few. Yeah,
that's what he should have done.
Rather than running headline.
Again, I think from the first map that Oxford have underestimated Cambridge going into this map. So hopefully these 4 rounds have been a bit of a reality check, and they're going to start sort of getting it together.
And
playing a bit more
I
sensibly.
don't you think the big shift in their philosophy is has come from the levels of aggression, and have been really toned back. In Mirage, they were pushing 3 men for mid all the time, and they were always losing them because they had a 5-7 and a couple of FAMASs versus AKs with those one-shot headshots. But this time, that last round, they had 3 of them sitting right in the back of alt mid and the bomb in T spawn until a minute had elapsed.
Yeah, and I think
passive.
I think that's what you need to do on this map. I think what the T's need to do is try and bait out the nades from the CTs. Giving them an easy entrance into the site later on, and they did that perfectly last round. They waited until about 30 seconds left in the round and just kind of smashed it, and had a really, really well executed push into A. And I'd be really interested to see if that was a fluke or if they can pull that off again, because it looked very nice. It was almost textbook.
So we've talked about how Cambridge have given themselves a really good chance to get back into the game, but let's flip things around a bit. What have Oxford got to do to bury this game and in 2 maps?
Yeah, I mean they need to start holding properly. Really, we've seen some gimmicky things coming out of them with the pushing down banana. That can work. But let's just see them play sensible and passive, playing kind of deep in those sites.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you actually, because the earlier rounds where a lot of them were going Oxford's way, it was precisely due to their passivity. They were giving Cambridge a chance to burn the clock and play the rotations. And I think perhaps I'd like to see Oxford get a few more of those aggressive strats.
And here we go, Wrestler's going aggressive down the banana.
That's exactly what's happening.
He's going to fall back. We've not seen... Just seen Wrestler buying armor and 5-7. The rest of them are eco with the P250s.
Down on the flank, but he can't get the frag onto Pona, who returns and nearly takes it down.
So this is crazy. They've just ran down mid.
And they get the button, who have the only maid on the team. Pona gets another 2 kills onto Resta Lion, and this time Dow finally pays for his mid-aggression. But, they had a chance. If that shot had landed onto Pona, who is only on 3 HP, they could have got an AK, could have at least got a few frags, and that's a successful eco.
Yeah, and... that's just one of those rounds for Oxford where there's not much you can do with it. I mean, ecos are tough on this game. and they just tried something a bit silly, which was rush down mid, trying to get some picks, maybe some guns out of it. It wasn't successful.
Polican is going to go down to the AWP of Warfare and creeping around there in mid.
Yes.
And again, it's a slightly, it's a triviality really, but it's slightly like lights off play on the exit frag side of things.
Yeah, maybe, but I think the attitude was probably in that round, just get the round over and done with. Let's get into a gun round and build up some momentum again.
But you know,
Oxford have lost their
JW
steam.
down to his Tech 9 or whatever, and he makes that with a few frags always.
Yeah.
You know, the top teams make the most of these situations, and you think now Oxford are forced onto the back foot, they're perhaps not very happy on it.
Yeah. There are no JWs on Oxford, unfortunately, but
Dal's trying. Dal is trying. What would you do if we brought JW?
I would, start worshipping
JW
the
just
ground
decides
that
he's
he was
going to do a
walking
year
on.
out media studies or something, and shows up in an Oxford hoodie.
Do you think he could get into Oxford? Don't know
I
if
think
his
he
GCSEs were good enough.
Well, they don't have DCSE this week, and Dobby does
That's
get a
true.
headshot onto Polican over in Banana, but Ristoline's able there to even things up and hold on to the B bomb site, but the bomb is still coming in, and he's 3v1. Are they going to check the box? If they don't, they're in trouble. Warfare is able to turn around and get the pick on the man on the rotator coming up Banana. Restoline gets one before he's taken down by 5-7, who is performing much better this game. Obviously has a bit of time now to gel with his new team. And that's going to be the bomb going down. Dal's waiting there for the pick from 5-7, checking construction, and that takes it down to a 2v2. But they've only got AWPs on the Cambridge side, and somehow Lil John pulls out a great double kill there at the end.
Really good hold on the site there. I thought, that maybe Oxford were going to be able to defend that push onto B. But again, another really nice push coming out from Cambridge, just kind of going together. They're organised, they're obviously communicating with each other now.
The frags being spread out actually really well there. I mean, there was the 2K for Lil John, but apart from that, everyone except Warfare was able to pick one up there. So there's a real team effort coming out from Cambridge, and Oxford are being defeated.
Yeah, and they're obviously super desperate to get back into this game because, look, they've kind of bought 5.7s, PT50s and armour, no head armour. And, look, they're translating a little bit tricky here, a little bit gimmicky.
Oh, there's a bit of a pixel going on up there. That's a bizarre spot. Are we about to see an Olaf Meister? Just for information, for anyone who doesn't watch CSGO, there was the last major tournament, one of the last major tournaments in something called DreamHack. A professional player called Olaf Meister revealed an exploit in the game and used it to win a match that they were otherwise losing, and it caused a big controversy in the community. So that's what I'm referring to. Yeah,
and I think what Wrestland's doing there is not actually pixel walking, but I've seen people do that spot before. It's kind of old school. I thought people had just stopped doing it, so they might be taken aback here. It's not really part of the meta anymore.
Right?
You don't see it too often.
Why is that?
I think it's because, when the beta was out and early on in the game, people were doing that a lot, and people have kind of stopped doing it now.
This is a take now coming into the B bomb site, but Restoline and Polycon are able to hold it down with those 5.7s.
Really nice defending there on the bomb site.
No health at all, and if Dobby knew, you think he'd be tempted to go in for it, and that is Restoline going to go down. Polycon just 5, and he goes down as well. It's just Dal with 23 HP in the PT50. Warfaring does miss the AWP shot, and he's got to pick up the bomb and plant
he's going to have to plant. And
there's only 14 seconds left.
Oh, why is Dal peeking? Oh, that was
Dal
risky play there from
Dal.
Dal.
Warfare in. That's an absolutely clutch shot.
I mean, he played that completely wrong in my opinion. He should have just hidden. He had to plant the bomb. It paid off though. He's obviously a good player.
He fancied his aim.
Yeah, and actually that buy somehow it worked for Oxford. I wasn't really anticipating that they were going to pull that off, and that spot that Rest went in, it paid off. So let's see what they're doing now.
Flash is coming out into Banana, and that is a quick frag coming from Dobby onto Glasses.
So where was Glasses playing there? Was that?
I think he was peeking mid.
Okay.
Probably.
Yeah, it looks like it.
So now they are just going to drop back into a more passive setup. That's Budden sitting on the railing, seeing who comes through. And he's probably in the right place, actually, because it looks like the bomb's going to come into apartments.
Yeah, I mean, Cambridge are doing that same thing, setting up towards A, taking their time a little bit, trying to bait out some nades. And
got 4 of them over at A, with just perhaps 5-7 playing Banana, I'm not sure. He gets the quick pick onto the button. That's another kill for Dobby, but he then falls to Dal, holding down the fort. Now in come the rotations from Restoline, but it's not going to be in time. But is it? Cambridge still haven't pushed in on the bomb site. They've managed to hold down the fort. And now the bomb does go down, but it's given them vital time, and they've got nearly all the CTs in, but Pona skips around the corner and rips off a double kill onto Dal and Polycan. Now it's just Restoline to see what he can do.
Rest needs to save here, but he's going to go for it.
He does not to save his M4. fancies his luck and goes down. That's possibly the economy.
Yeah, again, I'm not quite sure why he didn't save.
I mean, it's a small thing, but it's happened round after round.
Yeah.
These really bizarre exit frag save decisions coming from Oxford.
Yeah,
It's contributing to their economic problems.
And they're going to have another eco here. Obviously, they did win.
Not even armour on age, it's a
No.
full eco. And this should be an easy round for Cambridge.
Yeah, should be. But just about that last round again, Cambridge had a really nice A take.
Polican there doing the jump peek over the gate onto Banana. I mean, obviously with the pistols you can't really challenge.
Yeah, and again they're going to
he's
try
going
something.
He's going for
a bit
another
tricky.
boost. And he's sort of got it, but I just don't see what they're going to do with it because at the end of the day they've still got pistols.
And again,
it's so easy for someone with an AK to spray them down.
Glasses is just allowing himself to take. Oh, that was Dal actually, I think, in that case. Mid, just taking unnecessary damage at mid. They don't need to be peeking like that.
You can't with pistols.
Yeah,
you
it's
and no armor.
They're not being as sensible as they should be, especially when they're 7-5 down on a CT-sided map.
But Lil Jon does a slightly ballsy hop into mid with a Tech 9, and he pays for it with half his health. And they have now got the smoke down. And it looks like this is going to be a play on A, but Oxford are very much geared up for it. They've got 3 players over there. 4 players. No, yeah, they're still. I see. The 2 players are on top of each other at B, having a bit of a personal moment over there at the B bomb site. They're missing all the action because Dobby picks up 2 entry frags, and Button is able to trade it back onto Dobby, but 5-7 is there to pick up the headshot, and 5-7 has really come into his own on this map.
Yeah, he's doing well. I think actually all the Cambridge players are doing a lot better than they were in the previous map.
Because of the teams trading each other's maps.
Yeah.
Wait, 5-7 is a bit lower rated than the rest of the players. He's only Nova 3. He's come in on the day, so perhaps it's not a surprise that he didn't show it big time on the scoreboard. And
lovely.
Polican's able to steal a gun, and this time he's going to scurry away with it. Although, knowing Oxford, he might try and do a 3v1 retake.
No, I think he's hopefully a little bit more sensible.
He's going for kills as soon as
he's a little bit panicked as well. You can tell they're a little bit panicked. Look, he's like, oh god, and he's going to get picked.
5-7 is able to get that weapon out of his hands just in the last few seconds, and he's going to be kicking himself over.
I mean, really silly from Polycon there. He should have just ran into T-spawn or something and just run away. And now CT's again not in a good money situation.
No, they are going to be on another eco here, but they have got, and that's the Zeus coming out from the button. The eco Zeus. Are we seeing the birth of a new meta, Baz?
I don't know why he's done that again.
Let's follow him, please. I want to see where he takes the Zeus.
He's going up into apartments. Some really silly play from Oxford.
There's 2 of them up here in apartments.
Yeah, and he is going to try and make it happen with the Zeus.
He might be in the wrong place because there's a push going on over in Banana. Lil Jon seeing the bomb's not there, but I guess they're seeing what they can get done on the site. Going for the shot on Spools, doesn't get it, but there's still a man there. Jon misses it again. No, the rest of the line's going to fall off that one as soon as he shows his...
we missed it!
We missed the Zeus!
Oh, Christ.
Oh, my dear.
Oh, no. Well, I take back everything I said. That was very well done from the button.
It turns out even when on an eco, you can rip out some BM. And the button... What's the kill reward for Zeus?
I have no idea, to be honest.
Probably pretty high.
Yeah, and look at this. Restaurant getting a frag. Very nice from Restaurant. A couple of frags coming out.
Oh, and he's caught reloading by Warfare, and that's a simple matter to nail him with the AWP.
You know, this is an interesting retake coming in now from the CTs. They might have a chance here.
Yeah, that's a very long rotate all the way over from Library. That man really should have pushed up to Archers.
He's going to be too slow getting there, actually, now. I think it's...
And he's taking quite an exposed angle through... Dow's able to get the headshot onto Warfare with the P250. And this retake is alive. The dream is alive. But Dobby just turns away from the angle. But he turns back just in time. And he's able to pick up Dow.
This is doable from the button here.
The button and Dobby in a 1v1. Dobby on only 8 HP to try and clutch the round. But there is no kit on the button, so he's got to take this one quickly. He doesn't check the corner. And it's a simple matter for Dobby to... bury that round.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Cambridge going to 9-5.
Yeah, I mean, in that last round, Restland did really well.
T-side domination.
They're smashing it. What else can I say? I mean,
look, there's 5 figures, onto Warfare in there.
I really think what it comes down to is that Oxford just completely underestimated Cambridge going into this map, and they've been stupid, and they've been doing stupid things. I
mean, if we take a look at the fragging, Dallas is still playing very well with 15, but 19 frags on Dobby, 14 on Pona, and 13 on Warfare. They are going huge, and Oxford just have no answer for the fragging power of those 3 Cambridge players at the moment.
And look at this. I like this. What's going on from Cambridge here? A little bit of boosting over that smoke. It's quite it's a fairly common thing to do, but nice creative play.
And they're going to spray through the smoke here, and Banana desperately hoping to get some damage down, but nothing's really going. John and Pona are tagged up. Restaline actually goes down to John as the smoke's just starting to clear, but Polican's able to trade it back and hold down the fort here in Banana.
Yeah, and he's making the right move to fall back there. I mean, Oxford need to chill out a little bit now, go back into the site. They've got that early pick. It's 4v4.
That is a GS, by the way, coming out on Warfare in. A T-side auto sniper.
Interesting.
With the AWP nerf, the recent AWP nerf reducing the scope move speed, this weapon has become even more passive.
Maybe it was an accidental buy, who knows?
I think they're probably just getting some revenge for the negatives at the end of the half last time.
It's a nice pick on Dobby.
And this one is looking very good for Oxford to take it to 9-6 going into the half. They have got a 4v2.
They're going to try and execute on B. There's only one player in B, though, so it's manageable.
They get the smoke onto Dow, so that takes one man out of it. And there's only one person here for them to take. He hears the sound, he peeks around, but he doesn't get him. And Pono is able to just dodge him out around the corner and get the headshot onto Polican. Warfare, and now they've got the site. This is when the power of the GS comes in. It's such a powerful weapon for holding angles, which is why you wouldn't normally see it on the T side. He's able to pick up one. He doesn't get the man in mid. No, Button's able to trade him out.
Yeah, I think that was Oxford being a little bit more sensible, a little bit smarter with their plays. It's interesting actually hearing the Oxford communication is Restaland's the one going, fall back, it's 2v1, chill out. Yeah. He's kind of he's trying to keep them, he's trying to keep them calm.
And he's sort of their team captain as well. So Restaline is calling the strats. And let's see if he calls another wacky pistol strat on this one, because he's certainly shown that he's been there in the kitchen. He's been cooking up some very, very strange things.
Wait, look, you can hear what he's saying.
Actually, though, the Button as well, I know on Oxford's team is heavily involved in theory crafting as well for this side. And let's see, here comes the conga light. No, well, actually, no, the Button changes his mind. He's not going to go and push Banana.
Well, they are going for a bit of a Glock train. What are they doing? Oh, okay, this is interesting. They're going to do some cool smokes here. They're going to completely smoke off Pit.
That nade was so close to doing some damage, but 5-7 takes a lot of shots there from the aggressively positioned Polican, and he's able to complete the kill, actually. And that's the tease onto the bomb site. They get another kill onto Lil Jon. They've executed the take quite well. Dal gets a third kill onto Warfare, and that's now 3 frags from 3 players, and it doesn't look like this is going to be Ona able to get the headshot though with that USP onto Dal. Restaline responds onto WX, but Ona gets another headshot onto the Button. That's some great aiming coming out from him there, but it's not enough.
Yeah, and that was again a really cool take onto the bomb site. They threw a nade, a smoke from second mid into A, and it actually lands in the sort of the blue truck on A, completely smoking off Pit, and it just allows them to get into the site quite easily. So they've obviously rehearsed their strats on their T side, so they might actually have a very strong T side here. Looks like they're just buying SMGs here. They're going to take it slow.
I mean, a lot of the time in matchmaking, to be honest, these days, with the recent changes, this map can be T-sided. And he's going for the pick with the Galil, and Restaline gets the Galil headshot on Lil Jon. And that's going to open some things up for them onto the A-bomb site, maybe. Yeah, you do see a player dropping back a bit deep there into CT spawn, ready to come around to A through our archers. And almost as if they know that they've got the bomb back over towards Banana. They are going to draw it back slightly. They've just left one man to keep pushing Banana and see if he can get some picks, but he's in a 2v1 and he might want to be a little bit more careful there. Yeah, and he's going to back off after throwing out a speculative smoke just to sort of keep them interested. Meanwhile, in mid, they catch a glimpse of Warfare and he takes a few shots, but he's able to keep his life. And, with the armor P250 by here, Cambridge are hoping to get things done against the SMGs.
I mean, the T's are being very apprehensive, rightly so.
Dobby gets a kill on Dal, but Restalion responds onto Warfare. They're nearly in on the A site. It's just 5-7, but he gets 2 kills from Polycon, and that's massively clutch from 5-7. He does fall to the MP7, but this has opened up a fairly possible 2v2. Glass is only on 17 HP. Let's see what Dobby and Pony can do. And that's a headshot going onto the Button. He's on 11 HP. They just get the bomb down, but they're so low that they have to back off on this. Button's watching the wrong direction, and yeah, Dobby's able to come around with the Mac 10 that he's picked up and get another. And that's.
I mean, what was the Button doing there? Can somebody tell me? He was running around like one of those chickens on the map. Like he was probably more useless than one of those chickens. He was just out in the middle of nowhere.
Chickens.
Yeah, and that was a nice take onto the bomb site by Oxford.
Maybe they're swag as well.
Swaggy chickens.
It was a really well executed retake. And 5-7 really is the man who who got their own.
Yeah, he did really well to get those 2 kills. But I was not impressed by Oxford's holding of the bomb site there.
It was really sloppy. I mean, perhaps Button was just unlucky checking mid, but he knows that they haven't pushed B, so that's almost certainly where the rotators are coming from. And he wasn't watching any of the necessary angles.
He just had a moment of panic, I think. It was what it looked like.
Here comes the Rec 9 train into B, but Dobby's there to get... He gets 2 with the MP9. Pona gets a 3rd onto Restaline, but Restaline's able to pick up Dobby. Pona gets 2 as well, so that's 2 double kills coming out from the men on from the Cambridge men on B. Dal is left in a 1v3. He's going to get the... No, he does not to get the bomb down. He goes for the frags. And Lil Jon gets a fantastic instant headshot there with the MP7. Follows up straight away with another one. And that's Dal going down. And that was very, very well executed by Cambridge.
I mean, the MP7 is an interesting buy.
The MP9 coming out as well.
The MP9, sorry. But it worked well in that situation.
So until quite recently, the MP7 and the MP9 weren't bought very much, right? But with those new... buffs massively increasing their accuracy across all ranges, but especially when running, they're now a fantastic weapon to sort of spam at the Tech 9 rush, and that's perhaps what people think Valve were doing the buff for.
And it worked really well in their favour that round.
Yeah, that's sort of exactly what Valve are after. There's the smoke coming out there right at the top of the banana, so the CTs are going to be pushed right back in, and they're having to take those passive positions again, which gives Oxford so much map control.
I mean, it's fairly standard, I'd say, from Cambridge here, just kind of waiting in those sites, not doing anything too gimmicky or silly, and sort of Oxford are baiting out the nades again, and
apartment smoke, so they're just trying to. They've got an inkling that aggressive play is going to come in, and they're just slowing things down. And he catches out the Van
Button. He's made up for his terrible performance last round, and they're going to execute on mid here by the looks of it. No, they've fallen back. They've been smoked off. It's be interesting to see what they do.
I think despite picking up that round, Cambridge still haven't got their economy sorted. They still haven't got enough for the M4s across it. And 5.7 and Warfare in there paid for their, 5.7 particularly paid for his inferior gun.
Okay, this is interesting.
There's some A-calls.
And Lil Jon's sort of doing a bit of a get right here, trying to get behind them.
And they rumble him. They heard him opening the door, and Dal and Polycon.
And they're going to have to make a move here, because they don't have a lot of time
Dal's
left.
Picked up by Pona though, and it comes down to a 2v2. The SG and the FAMAS versus the AK and the M4. Warfare and gets a quick kill onto Glasses coming out of apartments. He hasn't checked
just
the
needs to
angle.
plant.
He's not going to get the plant. He's caught with his gun out, but he's able to get his AK back out and get the instant headshot onto Warfare. And he kind of knows that Pona is coming around, and he fakes the plant, but that's time expiring, and
I mean,
it's going to be a round over to Cambridge.
Polycon should have just gone and planted for apartments in that kind of standard spot. He kind of gimped himself a little bit there. He got caught out in the middle of the bomb site and didn't have enough time to plant the bomb.
12-7, no money on Oxford. I think this is going to map 3, boys.
It's exciting, yeah. And there's a Tech 9 armour coming out now from the T's.
No armour on Polycon. Puttons had to go without a helmet, so they really are buying down to their last dollar. Only the 2 smokes, the flash, which they've just thrown out. They're really low on resources, but let's see what they can get done with.
And this is that smoke again that goes and smokes off pit, which is...
They've got the aggressive smoke on B again as well, and so Dobby, Axe and Pona are just being hemmed right into that site. They can't get any aggression on Banana. But 5.7 pushes through and gets a great kill onto Button. Warfare picks up Dal as well before Restaline is able to trade back with the Tech 9. They're going to flip it round to the other direction from mid, but Dobby X jumps out, misses somehow, and gets picked up by Restaline. And that gives them a 3v3. Pona, though, rotating through arches, is able to pick up Restaline, who doesn't check the angle in time. They know he's there, so they've got to inch.
And the bomb's rotating back to B now, so they're going to be able to plant now. So they're going to get the bomb down in B.
Although, no, we have got the rotate coming back in from Pona. Let's see if he's able to get there in time, and I think he will. Polycon checking the angles, but he doesn't check mid, and Pona is there to save the day for Cambridge. Glasses, though, gets a headshot on Lil Jon. He's got 30 seconds. What can he make? What can he get done with it? He's probably got time for the plant, but he doesn't feel like he does. Without full knowledge of where the second CT is, he can't go for it. He's watching mid, but he's actually... will he catch him? He turns around to check construction. It's not too late. He does decide to go through construction in the end. No, he does opt to go through mid. And there's the kill from 5.7 onto Glasses.
Yeah, I think Oxford took a little bit too much time there. Kind of, are we rotating? Are we not? Are we committing?
2 opportunities in that round.
Yeah.
Where had Oxford simply grabbed the bomb and put it on a site, they would have the plant, they'd have the extra 800, and they'd have full nades this round.
Absolutely,
Instead, they've just got smokes to work with.
Yeah, and they were trying their same their pistol strat that round, but it didn't work. So they're getting a little bit desperate.
13-7 to Oxford. They're 3 rounds away from taking this to map 2, and Oxford don't seem to have an answer for the Cambridge CT side. And there's a Pro 90 coming out for Lil Jon, eager to give them the genuine solver experience.
I mean, just cast your mind back to the Mirage map with the Negevs and the P90 train, and now look at the situation for Oxford. They're not going to be feeling great about themselves right now.
It's you can do that if you're really ahead.
Yeah.
It was just map 1.
You can do that if you're Fnatic. You can't do that if you're a bunch of kind of MG2s.
They thought they'd won the major and they just qualified. And that's a speculative nade coming out, and he's going to get a bit of damage onto Dahlia. Takes him down to 82% HP. So he's tagged up for that take, and that might influence them. They might have to bring someone else up here to entry frag for them. Meanwhile, over the A bomb site, Cambridge are simply holding firm to their positions. They have got a man now pushing into boilers, but he's not going to catch anyone because the T's are miles away. They're here with a bomb in Banana, and at some point they're going to throw some smokes out and get there. Here comes the smoke onto mid. They run straight away, and Dow's able to pick up Pona with the Galil. WX trades back onto Dow, but Restaline's there to pick him up, and that is the bomb site going over to Oxford. Down goes the plant, but the rotations are coming in quickly through mid. They're going to detour via connector, and let's see if Restaline's got this one covered. He's taking a very cheeky angle, and he misses it. He goes far too right, and Warfare and picks up the headshot onto Restaline instantly. And now it's just left to Polican and Bonin with the SG, and there goes Button. And Polican's not able to make the AK work onto Warfare either, and that's a very, very smooth retake.
Yeah, a really nice retake. It was a good take on the bomb site by Oxford, but they couldn't hold it, and they're paying now. They're really paying for their silly plays in the previous half. And they've got just enough money to buy, so it's not over yet for Oxford. They could worm their way back into this game.
Well, it has to be now, doesn't it?
They've got to win this round.
I mean, do you know if we're playing overtimes this slam? I don't know. I don't know what
to be honest,
what the tournament regs are. I mean, why should I know that? I'm just a caster. Meanwhile, they're seeing if they can get an early pick onto mid, but it doesn't look like it's going to present itself for them. Or is it? There's 2 CTs coming in, but it looks like they're just going to watch the entrances. That's Dal, and it is smoked off, so Dal is forced to turn back. And that's the aggressive smoke coming out onto the top of Banana yet again. Dobby, though, is just going to hold this corner angle and see what he can get done. A few shots come out, but nothing lands. That's the side smoke coming off. Lil Jon knows it's coming his way, and he misses the shot onto Dal. Dal is going to back off, just tagged. And the bomb is still floating around in mid, but with 3 men in B, it's a possibility that they could take it over there.
Yeah, I mean, Oxford just don't really know what to do by the looks of it. They can't get in anywhere.
Lil Jon gets the pick on Dal as well, and the Cambridge defence is held firm, and Oxford are just wondering where on earth they could take the bomb.
I notice now the communication in Oxford has stopped. There's been completely silent this round. They don't have an idea of what they're doing.
Gets another one onto glasses. And it's just 3v5 now for Oxford. Where are they going to take this bomb? It's still up at A, only 30 seconds left. They have to commit to an A take now, but he's just going to creep into apartments. I don't think he's going to get it there in time. They've got to rush this. And yeah, here we go. Polican peeks right, dodges out a few shots, and falls off again.
And look
Guys,
at that.
there's only 15 seconds.
There's a fear to commit there, and there's only 15 seconds left in the round. They need to just go for it, really.
God, if they win one more round, it's tie point. I know they're just going to back off and play for overtime.
Yeah, they're saving, and they're playing for the overtime.
What the earth happened there?
That was just, I don't think Oxford had a plan that round.
I'm mind-boggled as to how that round actually happened.
They just, they didn't have a strategy, they didn't have a plan. And what is Button doing buying a Zeus at this stage, I think
It's, they could at least be playing for the tie, or have enough respect to Cambridge to try and win every round.
Yeah.
Button instead is going for the Zeus. That said, Button got a pick with it last time.
He did, and
so let's see where
words.
he takes the Zeus. It might catch him off guard. Warfare has got the Scar out, and he's going to make it work for him early onto Polican. Now, meanwhile, there's a bit of spray going on here into Banana, but there's no one there to take it, which of course they don't know because there's been so much play into Banana. But the bomb's somehow got through arches into CT spawn. This is not where the bomb usually goes on this map, and this might catch the CTs totally out. Yeah, they catch him looking down Banana. They've got another man going into construction to complete the flank, and this will almost certainly be a B plant. Unless, no, but Pona absolutely denies them with a pair of super clutch headshots, and he's got the bomb down as well on B, and that is probably, well, that's it for Oxford. Cambridge pick up map 2.
Yeah, it's got to hurt right now to beat Oxford. after the way they acted in the previous map, the bad manner we saw coming out from them. And you know what? Cambridge are being super, well behaved. They're not rubbing it in their face, and
yeah, and Pona able to hold his angle, pick up the kill there onto Down. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I'm surprised that map turned out that way.
Me too.
It was absolute domination.
Yeah, I can't believe how well Cambridge did after their terrible showing in the first map. Obviously, they've practiced this map a lot. They had some really excellent sort of takes onto A and B on their T half, and Oxford just didn't. They weren't able to take the bomb sites, and they weren't able to hold very well on CT, and so they only got 7 rounds. And I think Cambridge really deserved to win that game. So I believe
it's a miraculous display of mentality to sort of pull themselves back into that game after it wasn't just the round screen, the Negevs, the Zeus. We've talked about it a lot, but it was sheer disrespect, and Oxford were perhaps going for the psychological warfare tactics.
Sheer disrespect. Absolutely.
Try and get Cambridge to give up and say, "Go on, just get the LOL team on already."
Yeah.
But they held firm and they produced a really secure game, and it was a complete map. They played well on both sides. I was particularly interested to see how their CT side would turn out because, of course, all we got was the pistol round on the previous map, which they lost.
And they were really good on CT. They held really well. They didn't panic. I thought their rotations were very organised. They didn't kind of panic rotate. They kept a few people in each bomb site.
And it was the first few rounds perhaps were a bit more in Oxford's favour, but once they fell into those passive positions, and it worked for them on T side as well. It was just the passivity was sort of paying off for them.
Yeah,
Oxford rushed
really
somewhere, and then when they all got mowed down, they ran out of ideas. Maybe BM is all they can do. Now that tool's not in their kit, what are they going to do?
Yeah, I mean that's about all that the button's been good for so far is BM.
He didn't show up well on the apart from the Zeus kill. I think maybe if the Zeus kill counts as 20 frags, which we all know it does.
Yes,
that was a huge showing on the stat sheet for Button. Otherwise, not his best map.
No, not his best map. Let's see how he does on Dust 2.
And Chaos Terrorists somehow pick up round 1 on the warm-up server.
I think
they get the best of the 0v0.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be interesting to see what happens on D2. I know that the Oxford team are fairly sort of familiar with the map, and
for those that don't know the map so well, for you, what are the key things you have to do to win on Dust 2?
Well, it's a tough question actually.
I mean, there's the famous War Owl video where he says, "Oh yeah, winning Dust 2 is just all about taking mid. Like as the T's, you have to take mid."
Yeah,
so
mid control.
Them, you might see like the Forest, YOLO rundown, Suicide.
Yeah. I'd like to see some mid to B takes. I mean, just some interesting T strategies here. Powerful aggressive rushes will help.
Given their love of slightly ham tactics, what do you think's going to happen in the pistol round here
for the T's?
I
mean, there's
long rush. Matchmaking long rush.
Rush B, don't stop. I certainly don't want to see a long rush. I think we might see like a delayed B take maybe in the first round. Maybe I run a strategy with Rest and Line sometimes that we like to call the pirate ship.
The pirate ship.
Which is when you run into B tunnels. You go out of lowers, up mid. And then back round to long again, and throwing nades into short on the way. So we might see that. It's it's just a confusing strategy. It's I don't know why it's called the pirate ship, but we might see a pirate ship come out from them.
Do you put a wooden leg?
Put on a pirate voice.
I wonder what that would look like. Like the shift walk, like noiseless animation for walking with a wooden leg. I guess would he just have to hop?
Yeah. He'd probably be able to hear it as well because kind of be a bit noisy, wouldn't it, if you had a wooden leg just walking around with a wooden leg?
Maybe if you're a pirate, it replaces the Zeus. It would probably have a bigger range, to be fair.
I mean, there must be some sort of pirate mod. There was a pirate mod, actually, in Counter-Strike Source.
You seem to... I've never got into the Counter-Strike modding scene. It seems to be something you're aware of.
Well, I used to be, big into playing on public servers in 1.6, and there was some crazy mods, and there was a pirate ship mod where you'd have, like, 2 pirate ships, and you took control of cannons and you just had to blast into the other person's ship.
In Counter-Strike?
Yeah, in Counter-Strike, yeah. It wasn't very good.
What's wrong with Counter-Strike?
Yeah, I know.
So, like,
I always
sometimes,
think
like,
that.
with mods, like you get games like Skyrim and somebody creates a mod that adds like billions of new quests or takes Morrowind and makes it look like Skyrim or whatever. And I can understand the point of it, but like if I wanted to play a pirate ship game, I'd just get one.
I think the reason is because Counter-Strike fundamentally is such an enjoyable game to play. Like the movement, the shooting, the gameplay is so fun and so intuitive. That people want to play it in different ways, and that's why surfing is so popular as well.
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
It feels really nice to just kind of surf along a map.
I've never done it myself. Maybe I should, because as a Nova 1, my aim clearly needs some work.
I've never gotten into it. I don't really get it.
I didn't tell you that, did I? I've got an embarrassing secret, Baz. I'm only Nova 1.
Oh, really?
I'm a scrub, Baz.
Don't know why I'm associating myself with you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Do you want to? I'll leave. That's it. You can have the headset.
Are you casting the LoL or the Dota later then?
I'm casting the LoL.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know anything about Dota. It's all scary and confusing.
Yeah. Well, I can only really talk about Counter-Strike, to be honest.
I'm probably going to write an essay during the Dota, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's that time of the year, isn't it, for you
Hashtag
uni
Oxford.
students? And do you, serious question, do you think that's playing a part in potentially the lack of preparation here? Is that it's finals season?
Yeah, I mean, this LAN was originally going to take place in March, if you'll recall.
Yeah, I do recall.
And it was pushed back 7 months for the sponsors. Just a quick shout out to those sponsors, because it's been a while since we did it. ESL have half funded the venue, Twitch paid for the coach, Intel provided all the tech we're using today, so we're very thankful to them.
Yeah, and the computers look awesome upstairs. Dudes
we won't mention the CPU.
No, I mean
it wasn't Intel's fault.
That's not Intel's
Cambridge
fault.
sabotaged the Oxford terminals.
Yeah, sabotage.
Someone snuck in there in the dead of night.
Yeah. So thanks to those guys. So yeah, maybe they have been revising and stuff, and that's why they're not playing very well.
Should have been revising their Counter-Strike.
Yeah, I know. It's more important, really, isn't it? At the end of the day.
Absolutely. Degree, video games. No contest.
So what are you thinking about the sort of the avatars of our players here? I mean,
we've already talked about the rather meaningless black square from Button.
Yeah,
I'm
it's not
a fan.
great.
Although it's countered by the cheerfulness. He's not just the button; he's the button! Exclamation mark. Maybe we should just cast it from now on.
A little bit of a story behind his name. I can tell you the origin of his name.
Oh, do tell.
He used
Story
to be
time with Uncle Buzz.
he used to be the button masher.
Oh right.
And then he just changed it to the button. So that's a very interesting story.
Wow. I feel like a new map.
Rest the Lion.
That's blown my world wide open, Buzz.
Rest the Lion has named himself after a character from the World of Warcraft fiction.
Really?
Yeah. So again.
I've never played one. You had to pay for it.
Yeah.
Cheapskate.
I did.
I say that. CS:GO you had to pay for it. I guess I had to pay for it once, so I was like, oh, that's okay.
Well, I think CS:GO's delivered the most joy out of any game, and I only paid about £10 for it, so I think it's worthwhile.
Well, yeah, it's monetized by the skins, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's true.
That seems to be the model I think most people are opting for these days.
Yeah.
Rather than the WoW model. Sadly, it's a game I think that's becoming increasingly outdated now.
World of Warcraft is.
The player base is shrinking.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not as bad as the RuneScape situation.
What's the RuneScape situation?
Well, they changed. It was like one of the biggest I think it was the biggest free-to-play MMO in the world.
Yeah.
And then
that's why I cut my teeth on
PC
PC gaming.
System, and 80% of the player base stopped playing.
Really? Wow, 80% just stopped playing.
Which for a subscriber-based game is death.
Wow. So that's Jagex, isn't it?
So Jagex are in big trouble.
Yeah. I mean, I played the original RuneScape. Just remember kind of going out into the wilderness.
I always think of RuneScape, it's that game that you never want to admit to having played. Like, everyone played it, but like once you graduate from RuneScape onto something real, you're like, no, I didn't play RuneScape.
Yeah, I mean, I was only about 10, so you can't really blame me.
I didn't spend 20 hours watching a repetitive woodcutting animation. And,
oh god, yeah.
Until I got a cape made out of about 5 pixels.
Yeah, the original RuneScape was not good. It was, looking back on it, it wasn't good.
Well, I think CS:GO has probably got slightly prettier graphics.
Yeah, it's a nice looking game.
What are the big differences between Go and 1.6? Because you mentioned that you're a 1.6 player, and I never played 1.6 or Source. I've only really been playing Counter-Strike for about 4 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, when I first came to CS:GO, I really didn't like it at all. It was nothing like 1.6, which is kind of what I wanted it to be. I thought the maps were too much like Call of Duty. There was kind of shit cluttered all over the maps, which I didn't like, and the movement and the shooting just felt completely wrong. But I think they've done such a good job with CS:GO, and now I think it's a better game than 1.6. They've listened to the community in a lot of aspects. You know, they haven't in all aspects, but they've made the gameplay really, really great. And there's
they didn't listen about the Tech 9s.
Well, yeah.
Oops.
Yeah, I mean, they fixed the Tech 9s now to an extent.
The running accuracy is still beyond.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have too much of a problem with the Tech 9. And the AWP change, I don't know really what they were thinking with that. There must be some reason behind it.
Studying. Someone told me you're a media studies student, maybe English. Someone said something like that.
No, that's not true. No.
It's a lie. I was lied to. What you've got a choice, but you could. I'm not going to know. You could study.
Yeah,
anything.
no. I studied history and philosophy.
I majored in swag torture studies. History and philosophy.
Yeah.
It's a bit more real than my degree.
Yeah.
Music.
No, I think music's pretty real.
My co-caster for the lot later is also a music student.
Oh,
Yeah, maybe
you have
it's
a
just
lot to
in our
talk
blood.
about. What kind of music?
It's classical music, but
Okay.
I'm more interested. I'm more interested in studying hip hop. You have to study hip hop.
Oh, are you into hip hop?
Walk into a lecture and there's NWA.
Oh yeah. Who's your favourite MC of all time?
Probably Method Man.
Ooh, good answer.
I'm a big Wu-Tang fan,
Good
actually.
answer.
So I always feel like I'm a little bit too white for hip hop, especially now that I've studied it and the connotations around it. And
Oh, is there an Oxford module on hip hop?
there is, yeah, it's only a couple of years old.
Wow.
Oxford has been dragged kicking and screaming into the 21st century.
I would like to sign up for that.
The
Is there a way
the
as
Oxford
somebody
hip hop module, yeah.
who doesn't go to Oxford
Unfortunately,
to...
they don't teach us to rap.
Wow.
As much as I would love my Professor Staniak to attempt.
Staniak?
Yeah.
Is he Russian? Sounds like a Russian
No,
name.
he's American.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. I mean, I like Method Man as well. He's not as good as Ghostface,
But
but
rapping's not too different from play-by-play casting, right?
maybe, yeah. I mean,
Basically
it's
the
a
same.
bit like freestyling, really.
Exactly.
Yeah, you
That's
don't...
basically why I can, that's where all my play-by-play casting talent comes from.
Yeah.
I'm actually I'm ripping it up on the freestyle rap circuits of Oxford
Oh,
by night.
I mean, the Oxford Mandem is a strong crew. They roll deep.
Oxford Mandem. What about the Cambridge Mandem? Is anyone here from the Cambridge Mandem? No,
Don't think
no
they're
one
listening to us.
represent.
Can you help me?
There's still a player missing from the Cambridge side.
Yeah,
I'd be interested to
who are
know
we
what's
waiting
going
for?
on there, but no one said anything in all chat for the poor casters down here, losing their wits end trying to come up with something that's vaguely interesting to say.
What year are you in?
I'm a fresher.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
a slightly old fresher.
Okay.
I did a gap year.
Okay.
So I don't even have an excuse. You know, I'm no longer a teenager wasting my life on silly games. I'm an adult wasting a life on silly games.
Yeah. I graduated a year ago, so just got absolutely no excuse.
You've basically got a real life now. man.
Yeah,
It's like,
I'm in the real world.
And yet here you are in a room with about 15 people talking about computer games.
Yeah, that's the dream.
Who would do a thing like that? I certainly wouldn't.
No.
Bit of a team kill from W. And there's another Cambridge player's actually dropped out. So I've got no idea what's going there.
Can you ask them what's going on? Are you able
I'll
to
see
do
if,
that?
Let's see if I can.
Planting.
Is issue on the Cambridge side? Warfaren's just DC'd again, so I think there may be an issue with his PC. And there's a timeout from Polican as well.
Okay.
So all sorts of weird things going up there in the top
I
side.
don't know what's going on, really.
Top side.
Oh.
We should have like an intercom or something.
Yeah.
No, not intercom. You know, like those things where you have like the canister in the tube, and you like fire it up and stuff.
Oh, like a
in
flare gun?
films. No, like a message system going around. Never mind.
Oh,
may-
when
may-
you have the
maybe I
tube.
dreamt
No,
it.
you know
Maybe I
the
dreamt
Are you
it.
talking about the tubes?
Yeah, the tubes.
Yeah.
You like fire the thing up like a message in a bottle.
No, I know what you're talking about. Like in kind of like a Futurama style situation.
exactly.
Yeah. I know.
I should have one of those. I should put one in the union.
Yeah.
Useful.
I mean, did those really exist? I thought they were just kind of a thing in sort of
Well,
science fiction.
I hear there's a few clever people around here. They can make it reality.
We're in a very nice room, though.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a cut above the standard LAN environment. So
Did you go to the last one? So
I did not know. This is my
okay.
first Varsity LAN.
Okay.
My first time casting at a live event as well.
Yeah. Me too. as you can probably tell.
Not at all, Baz.
No,
Not at all.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Never.
Yeah, no, it's a different scene to the last one, which was kind of in the engineering building at Oxford.
Right. I've never been there. I've never been an engineer.
Yeah,
It was good environment.
it was great actually. It was a lot of fun. We had don't know if it's happening this year, but we had a sort of a panel from some of the guys from Twitch were there.
Oh wow.
Stu Pot
You
was
had a
there.
panel, like an
Yeah.
analyst panel.
Well, they kind of gave
were
it was like a Q&A type situation.
Right.
So we had Odie, who's the leader of the founder of Dignitas. So that was very cool.
Is Ronan here is playing LoL or Dota later? Waiting for a warm-up, I could ask you some stuff about the upcoming match if you want.
Well, I think
Rather than listening to Baz and I slowly turning insane.
the one thing I can probably say is that the level of play will probably be much better than Counter-Strike on LoL and Dota, because I know that the Oxford team are very committed
Well, I mean,
to Dota.
both teams are pretty high ranked.
Yeah. And I know they've been playing together a lot more.
Although Oxford are down a mid laner today. The mid laner didn't make the bus.
Oh,
so we're interested
really?
to see what the substitution situation is there in the mid lane for Oxford.
What happened to him?
Don't know.
Did he get stuck in the middle?
I don't know. Maybe he had a bit of a night.
Did you get the joke?
I didn't get the joke. Just went.
I won't bother
My
saying
head didn't. And there was no joke.
because it wasn't funny.
There were many feet and inches of air, clear and fresh air between me and that joke. You lost me, Baz. You lost me.
It wasn't funny. Don't worry. It doesn't bear repeating.
Oh, Baz.
So sorry. What happened to the guy?
I don't know. He's just, I
Okay,
don't know. Maybe he
he's
had
missed
a
the coach.
crazy Saturday night out or something.
Maybe. I think what's happened to the reason that Oxford have a stand-in is because one of their players is ill. Is this correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So one of their players is really not very well at all. Probably.
Okay.
Yeah. And really couldn't make it today. So they've managed to find another MG on the coach here, luckily, and he just stepped in today, and he's been fragging. The last map, he was fragging quite well, actually.
Talking about glasses, aren't we? Yeah, he's been good for the team actually. Yeah, hope to see him kind of going forwards in the in the Oxford CS:GO sort of team, because you know the Oxford society is very heavy on the sort of the Dota and the LoL, but we don't have as many Counter-Strike players. So hopefully he'll join us in the future.
And the readies finally come out from Cambridge and Oxford. So we are ready to get map 3 of this best of 3 underway. The decider here on DE Dust 2. Who will take the 2015 Varsity Counter-Strike crown?
Yeah, it's going to be
Oxford
an
came in
exciting
strong
game.
with a huge map 1, but Cambridge were able to turn it around with a very secure performance on Inferno. So having won each other's map picks, we're going to see who can take this.
Oh, that's a
Dust
nice
2.
knife on Polycon as well. I didn't notice that. He's
So
got.
here comes the knife. Yeah, Polycon has different karambits
Yeah.
for T and CT sides.
Wow.
Because some people just have too much money.
It's
He's
that
just going to give that
student
little
loan.
spin for the camera.
And they are doing the long rush, which I did say I didn't want to see it.
Well,
but
it's just the knife.
no,
they come
they're doubling
mid.
back. Oh, it's a knife round. What am I talking about? Sorry.
Fisticuffs, yeah. I mean, normally people don't cast this because it is essentially crap.
Well, no, this can be kind of interesting. I wasn't really paying attention though.
I think, well, is it going to be significant?
Well, it
I
depends
can
really.
imagine Oxford actually possibly would want T side first here. Because, I mean, I think it certainly went a lot better for them on Mirage to have T first.
Well, I think they've got to be a bit careful because Cambridge, I think, may. I mean, they were so good at defending on CTs.
There's actually quite a high degree of coordination going on here. Sorry,
Yeah.
by the way, on the you can't hear the team chat, but it's calculated. And Warfarin is running for his life from Dal, Polycan and Glasses. But he's interrupted by Polycan. They make a few passes at each other, but he's not going to get it, and Dal picks up the final kill on Warfarin.
So, I was just saying that I think maybe Cambridge.
The button says it's like herding cattle. Be a man.
Okay, yeah. So they've gone for CT, and I think that's the right move because I think Cambridge have been really strong on CT in the last map.
Yeah, exactly.
And
especially because this map, obviously, unlike the other two maps, which are really fiercely tactical, this map perhaps is a bit puggier. Like it comes down to more of an aim battle.
Yeah.
And in those situations, I think Oxford perhaps want to put themselves in the best situation to succeed with the superior tactical play that they've shown already.
Yeah, I think so.
And here we go, we're underway. Looking at the buys, we've just got a single smoke grenade coming out for Button and the diffuser, so a bit of a utility buy. A number of nades out from Resterline, and it's armor on the remaining players. Meanwhile, over on the T side, John's picked himself up a flash.
And we're seeing a B rush.
5-7 is without 5-7 because he's on T side. Warfare and is gone for the ballsy Tech 9, but other than that, it's 4 armor buys. Let's see what they do with it. And it is 5 men rush B, and that's an easy frag for Warfare and onto the Button, making that Tech 9 do the work early on in the round. And they're in the bomb site absolutely cleanly. And this is going to be a very, very difficult 4v5 retake for Oxford.
Yeah, nice little Glock train there into the site, and yeah, like you said, it's going to be tough here for Oxford to get back in.
They've got their smoke into tunnels to block off that route, but it has now cleared. Dobby picks up a double kill onto Resterline, and Quest. Lil Jon gets the better of Glasses as well with a headshot, and Warfare finally takes down, and that will be the round.
Yeah, a nice rush into the site. You know, it looks like Button, sorry, is going to be the guy
paused
holding.
the game. Resterline may be experiencing some. Oh, Resterline's computer has crashed.
Okay. Yeah, I was just saying, I think Button will be holding B, and he has proved himself to be one of the weaker players. So you know, perhaps Cambridge will pick up on that and sort of start smashing B. But that was a really, really easy take for them. And did they even lose a man that round? I don't think they did. No, they didn't. So they managed to keep all their players alive, and it was a good round. Good start to the game for Cambridge.
Yeah, I mean that take was a thing of beauty. I mean, usually the 5 men all rush B don't stop. Just doesn't work. And I hate hearing it in competitive, but on that occasion they just caught the one man, and he wasn't even.
Yep.
You know, all he had. Okay, so you know, John can't hold the site down, but he's got to. You know, he's got to get a kill, right? He's got to get at least one. Sorry, not John.
Balam, but the Button, yeah.
The Button has to get a frag to give his team a chance at retaking, and several heads passed through his crosshairs, and he just couldn't line them up.
Yeah, and I think he got there a little bit late as well. He smoked the tunnel entrance. It wasn't an early smoke.
And they just pushed right through.
And they just, you know, it didn't really affect them too badly.
Well, it's 5v1. You know what you can do.
Yeah. So.
And yeah, the rotates were slow as well. They stacked a lot of men over towards
and
the other side.
it's super difficult retake as well in that situation when you've just got kind of P2000s and USPs.
Exactly. I mean, there's the inherent difficulties with retaking the B site anyway. You know, you can't try and snipe them carefully on long. Yeah, the T's have such a lockdown on window and door.
It's a really
very
difficult.
easy angles to
yeah,
hold.
it's a really difficult site to retake unless you can kind of coordinate very well and you've got smokes and flashes, and they didn't. So.
With that, the money situation for Oxford is going to be pretty dire unless they get a successful force up on the next round.
Yeah, I can imagine a bit of panic going on now in Oxford. I don't anticipate a 5-7 an armor buy here. I mean, they might do it, but you know, if they were. Okay, they're going to force. They're going to force.
Yeah, the force call has come out from Oxford. So there's armor in the 5-7 coming out.
Okay.
Yeah, no helmet on the Button. Oh, and there's another timeout from Polycon, followed by the instant pause. Polycon seems to be experiencing some technical issues with that computer, and I don't think it was him earlier who had the overheating CPU, but I know there wasn't.
No, it wasn't. It was
going to play, and you know these guys have been playing for several hours now.
Yeah, I know there were some problems with Polycon's computer before they started. That it was crashing a bit.
Scumbag Cambridge giving us the shitty PCs. Oxford calls foul. Intel clearly Cambridge fans.
Yeah, then the BM is coming out strong. Backbanned from secured servers.
Well, you shouldn't have used all those OP hacks, Paul.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Lil Jon does have a private profile, which is always, you know, a big sign of a cheater.
Just doesn't want you to see his backbands.
Yeah. So.
Can somebody bring a screwdriver? Sounds like things are getting technical up in the Oxford base. I think they may have to do a fan check, and this could be quite a long pause. I wonder if it might be wise to take a break at this point.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think we're going to take a break and see what's going on upstairs, and hopefully we'll be back with you shortly.
Do I need to do anything with this? Yeah, so the ESL pulled out then.
Yeah.
When was that? Why they didn't have the original date of like?
Right. I'm going to go and take up what's going upstairs.
Okay.
And tell them that we've paused. Well, we're not paused. It's still streaming.
Yeah. told him to give us a shout before we started playing. Okay.
And apparently we are back into the game, so we're quickly going to shoot over to that. Bit of. Right.
Wait for me. Come pick.
Let's see what the situation is. So it is 2-1 in favour of Cambridge. They're sitting here on the SMGs, and Oxford are forced to eco after that failed pistol round, and it looks like things have gone pretty much as expected.
Well, Oxford have managed to pick up a round. Don't know where that's come from, but
they're back on the P250s here, and just a few nades. Polican's got some armour, so he'll be looking to see what he can get done with that extra, with that extra entry fragging power. But the MP9's just not able to take that long-range shot into Winter, and John's not able to get it. But he does get the headshot onto Button, and that's going to open up the B site for them. Polican jumps into window and gets knocked out straight away by John, and that's a double kill now for him on the B site. And the terrorists are all over mid and B. And it looks like it's going to be a 2-on-4 retake situation if the CTs want to take it. John gets yet another headshot for down. That's a triple kill, all headshots. And that is finally and that's finally the bomb going down. Restaline has managed to find himself a UMP, and I think he's probably just going to try and scurry away and save it, but he is going for the retake. He gets one, and he's picked up traded out by the man at Carpona, and that is going to be the round going over to Cambridge. It looks like Oxford are going to have to eco yes again. And they've got enough money for
going down there.
Possibly for a 4-step here, but another pause, does come down. It may be another crash.
Well, I wonder how Oxford managed to get around in there. I'd be quite interested to know. Obviously, we missed a couple of rounds. I imagine what might have happened is they might have forced with 5.7s and armour on that second round. Maybe made something happen there.
And then lost subsequently.
And then lost the round
because
after that.
even if you win that force, as the CT is with the 5.7s and the armour, you still don't have enough for a full buy.
Yeah, you're not in an amazing spot still, but that's potentially how they won the round there. Let's see, so there's an early AWP coming out there from Lil John.
This is, you could get it, this is about as early really as you can get an AWP.
Yeah, I mean it's somewhat overkill at this stage when the CTs don't have much armour, or won't be buying. The fuck is this sabotage? So Button is obviously not happy, he thinks there's something going on here.
It's so subtle. Intel loves Cambridge. Because, like, all the computer tech companies are here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just,
This goes all the way to the top.
Britain Silicon Valley, isn't it? So, Intel, they just want to keep Cambridge sweet. They need those grads.
Yeah, for sure.
Come and work for us for no
dollar.
For sure.
I mean, there's definitely some sort of conspiracy going on here, and I think we've gotten right to the heart of it.
Apparently, they're taking the case apart again, so I feel like this may be a lengthy pause.
Okay. Well, can I give a shout-out?
You can give a shout-out.
To Luke and Dax, who are possibly watching the stream right now. They were the people who founded the Oxford eSports Society.
Oh wow!
Well, they it started as the StarCraft 2 Society.
In the history of my society.
So it was StarCraft 2 initially, sort of 2-3 years ago, and then it's recently, kind of in the last year or so, changed to the eSports Society. But they had a big hand in starting it, and Dax did a massive amount of work to get the Varsity match set up last year. So shouts out to those guys. I've always wanted to give a shout out, so...
Well, here you are,
There we go.
That's it, life complete, Baz.
That's off my bucket list, so I'm very pleased about that.
What else? You had anything else on the bucket list? I think shout out on stream to our many thousands of viewers is probably as good as it gets.
Yeah. Oh.
What is the viewer count on the stream? Let's have a look.
I think it's about 100.
While we're waiting for the pause to sort itself out. Yes, we have 137 viewers. What are they saying in Twitch chat? Dare I show you Twitch chat? Now we'll fuck the tabs on Dust 2. Oh god, one of my friends is watching. Sam Homsey X, that's my co-caster for the League of Legends later.
Right, well, nobody's actually getting you confused with Daniel Radcliffe, which I think is really strange.
I'm very happy, actually, that for that not to happen, despite your desires otherwise.
Yeah.
Apparently, some people are complaining about the quality of the stream. I feel like there's not much I can do about that, really.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. We're not doing a great job.
I'm just an idiot with a microphone.
Well, you know, it's free, so I don't know why they're complaining.
Exactly, this is quality entertainment.
Oh
no, I thought the game was unpaused.
no. He's back in the game now, so...
Polican's able to reconnect, and hopefully they've got these repeat crash issues sorted now on his computer, that the king-size screwdriver was delivered successfully to the Oxford Playroom. And with any luck, we will have the match getting swiftly back underway.
Do you know what the actual problem was with the computer?
Not a clue.
No, okay.
But it looks like well, I probably can't say on stream, but we'll talk about it later.
Okay.
But they've just had a few hardware issues.
Okay.
We can't really complain because they're not our computers. So.
No, exactly. I mean, Intel have been
I
very
don't
gracious.
I have to bring my tower to...
No, imagine that.
You have to do
Check out these monitors as well, they're absolutely enormous.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's 160p or whatever it is. I don't know.
Like, is it like the next one up from 1080p? So it's like,
No,
it's like better,
it's
or-
I'm not really sure, but
Not
the
on
frame
monitor.
rate's higher or something like that. I don't know.
Oh yeah, no, maybe like you can get like 120 something hertz monitors.
That's
Counter-Strike
that's
plays
what
really
I'm trying
big on
to.
it
That's
for,
what I
like,
was trying to say.
seeing
Yeah,
peaks,
That's what
apparently
that's
it's
what I was
really
trying to say.
important.
Yeah. That is helpful.
I don't know much about it myself.
No, me neither. So I'm
And
not
I
gonna
think this
pretend
will
to.
be a force buy coming out from Oxford. They've got that big loss bonus now, with the multiple rounds amplifying it, and that means now they're on for masses, bit of armor, a few nades every round from here on out until they start to chain together some wins. Meanwhile, on the T side, we've got an AWP in the hands of Lil Jon, and he's looking for a pick on the mid doors, but he's not going to get it. The crosses have already happened. And that's going to be the bomb heading into tunnels, possibly a play on the B site coming in here, but it's passed back to the next player, perhaps to prepare Dobby for a bit more of an entry fragging role, but instead he's going to go down into lower tunnels, and the T's maybe are looking to take control of mid here. Lil Jon is just edging around, desperately hoping for a pick with that AWP, and he's not going to, he spots a man and he misses the flick, and Glasses escaped with his life. But he's still there, and if Glasses peeks, he's in big trouble. And luckily he is just holding his angle. Meanwhile, Warfare in here does a little poke around in mid, see if he can find anyone. It looks clear, so I think they're probably going to try and play mid. But meanwhile, Dal has come right around the back into T-Sport, and he gets the flank on Dobby behind the long doors.
Yeah, I mean, no one was really watching long there, so he did well to get a pick. I think Cambridge are going to have to make something happen now, aren't they?
This
There's
is
not
the
much
A-split
time.
now coming in. In go the nades, 5-7 with a bomb, hoping to see that, hoping to try and pick off these players lurking on the site, but Dal is able to take down Pona down at long, and Dal is really doing work down there. As always, this player is fragging hard for Oxford right now. Warfare able to get the headshot onto Glasses over at the B site, and that means I think that's going to prompt a spin over there. Lil Jon gets another wall bang onto Restaline even, but they don't know there's still a man in here. He doesn't even have his gun out, and the button picks up 5-7. Warfare's there to trade it out, but that's a kill that they easily could have avoided. And that leaves Polican and Dal to, but they've played out enough time that they're able to pick it up without the bomb going down.
Yeah, really
and
nice holding from Oxford there.
That is really a misplay from Cambridge.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think they had time to plant there, so it must have been just a bit of miscommunication or something. But good holding from Oxford. They didn't get impatient. They managed to get a nice pick. Cambridge couldn't really find a way in. It looks like Cambridge are just kind of setting up, trying to get some picks, trying to bait out some nades and some smokes. But is there a push coming in on B here from?
The bomb's down, right at the back of my long doors, and there's a lot of T's milling around mid, so they perhaps still haven't decided on a strat. And that's the Molotov going through the smoke from Glasses, hoping to stall out any possible push through tunnels, but there's no one there. And here the bomb's now coming up short. It looks like they're going to try and run an A split, but they still haven't got a man through the long doors. And there's a man in pit watching him. Look at the AWP's been spotted out, and it's been called out on comms by the blue side. They are just going to back away from this and possibly take the bomb elsewhere. Meanwhile, we have got the entrance down in long doors, and Dal is able to back away into the safety of pit from Pona. Out comes the flashbang. Dal hops out and beautiful flashbang.
Really nice from Dal.
Glasses, meanwhile, picks up one on Warfare in as well, and that's just going to leave Dobby, Jon, and 5-7 in a 3v5. Lil Jon loses his life very quickly to the buttons for mass, and now it's just Dobby and 5-7 with the AKs. 5-7 pushes through the smoke like a real man, and he isn't able to pick up Glasses. Luckily, Dobby is there to trade it out, but it's now a 4v1. Dobby really has got very limited options here.
He's best off saving, I think.
He does have the bomb, so And he isn't able to get the frag onto the button. And that's that one completely snuffed out by Oxford, who are starting to settle in on their CT side.
Yeah, really nice holding from Oxford. Cambridge, doesn't really look like they've had any strats in the past couple of rounds. They're trying to make something happen, trying to get a pick, but it hasn't been happening for them. I think what they've got to do is really rely on Lil Jon to try and get an early pick, and then just kind of follow their noses after that and see what happens. But it looks like they might be trying to sort of rush into B here.
And Dobby gets 2 headshots with the Tech 9. Yeah. Absolute Rec 9 train here coming in from Cambridge, and that's going to give them a very easy plant on B. Simply not prepared for the force of those pistols. Lil Jon fancies his luck and keeps going further, but Restaline's able to pick it up easily with the AK. Doesn't even take much more than 30 points of damage. Now he's going to flip into lower tunnels perhaps. No, he'll have a go at window. And this is probably a retake that Oxford are looking to take actually, especially versus the terrorist pistols.
They're going to want to take this.
But instead they back off. It looks like they've elected to save.
Yeah.
They are going to run down to the bottom of long doors and just wait for this bomb to explode.
I think it's the right move for them to save here and just get some exit frags if they can.
But, the exit game is typically, the post-plant decisions made by Oxford on the last map, Inferno, were questionable.
Yeah.
Again, I think obviously it's not openly bad, but there's a sort of real lack of decision from them about what to do.
Yeah.
And they're just letting Cambridge build up a massive economy on it.
Well, I think, the fact that they didn't go for it that round demonstrates a little bit more discipline from Inferno. There's more at stake here, so I think they're getting a little bit worried, and we're seeing a rush coming in on long.
A big old long rush, but he gets a load of people with that flash, and that probably saves his life as he backs off to a more secure position. Meanwhile, he's going to boost here on top of Dal and see if he can pick up a few, or he's just going to actually make for the safety of the site. What's short, just anticipating a possible split here, but what they don't know is it's everyone down long. They've just got one lurker over towards the B site.
Yeah, they should probably rotate one off B to A.
Here come the smokes and here come the T's. They're pushing all the way up. Here come they come around the edge of the smoke and Dal picks up Dobby. Dal gets another headshot
Really
onto
nice
5-7, holding down that site. Dal's still there. And Lil Jon is able to pick up Restaline and Warfare and gets glasses. So now it's a 3v3 on this site. Everyone's super low. Pona gets the button. Dal is able to trade back onto Pona with just 1 HP. Dal completes his 3k. Pelican is able to finish off John.
Yeah, and
now it's just Warfare in. But somehow, in all the chaos there, they were able to get the bomb down.
Yeah, and nice holding again. Really nice holding from Dal, managing to get 2 really key frags. And then, unfortunately, Warfare was he was trying to lurk over at B, maybe try and get a few picks. It didn't happen, and it just meant he was late and was unable to defend the bomb. So kind of gimped his team a little bit there, but let's see what's coming out of Cambridge this round.
So it looks like they're playing this one towards B, with just Pona lurking towards the A site, makes some noise, but he's now doubling back into mid. John's heading for mid as well, and 5-7, so this may actually just be a play for mid control. Warfaring with his crosshairs set there, just hoping for a push through the smoke, but Glasses is too disciplined, and he's just going to hold that site as he has been doing for most of the map. Looking over at what's going on along, we just have Dal holding the pit, hoping for a possible push through, but I don't think he's going to get it.
They're going out of mid here, so they're going to try some sort of mid to B. No smokes
but they weren't expecting Restaline boosted up onto the crates, but against 2, there's really no hope of him. It's not actually the strongest of positions.
Yeah, it's weird that he was playing there. I don't really know what he was doing. They obviously need somebody watching that middle.
And with that, the T's are all over mid, and they can go exactly where they want, and where they want is the A site. But Dal has dropped off in long. They may not be expecting him to be playing this angle. I say that, he's spamming there through the flash, so they know the long player is there. Dal desperately trying to find the head of Dal, but Lil Jon's not going to get it. He does come around the corner though and pick up Polycon. At the same time, Pona is able to complete the kill onto Dal, giving them the A site. And a 2-on-5, I do not think Oxford are going to take this, and no, they're going to adopt post plants in B and desperately hope they survive with their rifles in hand.
Yeah, this is really exciting map actually. I think we're seeing both teams look very comfortable on this map. And they're very good at getting the picks here, Cambridge. They did really nice to get a pick on middle there, and they were just able to execute quite easily onto A.
I just don't understand Restaline's position there. I mean, if you're going to hold that mid angle, you can hold it from car even.
Well, I think what's happening is that they've got 2 players playing on B and 3 people playing on A, and so they're just relying on one person to rotate.
So he can't hold the traditional mid angle because his rotation is towards A, not B.
Yeah, so I think Restaline is rotating off A and kind of getting caught out. So I think what they need to do is put put Restylane on B and have him rotating back to mid, because he is their strongest player. I think he's probably the best person for that job.
Yeah, I think I just feel like CT spawned to A is a weak rotation. You're under, if their T's on short, you're very unlikely to make it into the bomb site alive.
Very tricky.
And he goes to the timing pick and he catches 2 out, but luckily a flash comes. But John keeps spamming and he's able to pick up Dow. Yeah, absolutely. Dobby X following up on Polican. John gets another one onto Restylane. The button does trade back onto Dobby X, but that's not going in Oxford's favour. Now that's another kill for 5-7, and now it's just Glasses, who's desperately coming over from the B side to see what he can do, but against 4, I don't think there's much.
Absolutely huge take on long there, especially from Little John, just storming out there, catching those CTs completely off guard. And
that's another round going over to Cambridge, who are showing up very well on their T side here. I mean, this is traditionally a CT, not especially a CT side in the current meta, but still, nonetheless, CT sided. And Oxford are struggling to put together.
Yeah, I mean, they need to get something to sort of counter that long rush. If they do that long rush again, that was very, very strong. And yeah, I think they just need to just be holding a little bit better than.
It looks like the player's going to go over to A with 4 Ts there clustered at the bottom of the long doors. Meanwhile, over here, Lil Jon is going to try and make some noise at the B site. They are playing those 2 guys on B, and I'm not sure I'm such a fan, to be honest, of this strategy, because it's caught them out a few times on long.
Yeah.
The lack of men.
Yeah, I mean, at this stage, though, they kind of got to, rotate to mid, I think, so they're a little bit worried about that mid to B push.
John goes for a spam through the smoke, but he actually comes off the worst of it. But meanwhile, Dobby X is able to pick up a kill onto Polican, and that may open up the A site for them. Yeah, they're going to push up short, but Restylane lays down the law on Dobby. He's going for more, but he's forced to drop back into Goose for the reload. But the Ts are coming, but the smoke may have warded them off just for now.
Going out of mid now by the looks of it.
Dow comes up here to try and pick up some frags onto mid. Lil Jon is just waiting for the peak with his sight set on it, and the smoke comes out at just the perfect time in a nice bit of communication there.
Well, that's a plum nade there.
And it does get even more damage onto John. He's lucky to escape with his life there. He's sitting on just 8 HP.
Yep, and the Ts are committing to B now.
So they've been all over the map. And it's an easy matter for Glasses and Restylane to pick up some kills here. 5-7 is able to get Button, but he's quickly traded out afterwards by Glasses, and now it's just Pona left to try and take the site, but he's able to get it. And he might get a bomb plant out of this. And there he gets it. That was so... if he picked the plant spot perfectly there.
Yeah, really nice to get the bomb down. Yeah, I mean, the Oxford team held very well, I think, that round. They didn't really... let them in anywhere. Every place they went, Cambridge were denied, and they kind of ended up doing a last-ditch push on B, and it just wasn't very strong. They didn't have any nades left over, and Oxford were quite easily able to stop it.
So this round, we're going to see, despite that win, we've still got a FAMAS on the CTs, and not all the nades they want either, so the money problems still haven't gone away. Meanwhile, on the Cambridge side, they've got everything they could possibly want. Lil Jon goes to, Warfare goes to the timing pick there, but he gets flashed instantly, so he's not going to get it. But meanwhile, the Ts are storming up long. They have complete control of that area of the map, although they've dropped the bomb back by the long doors, so perhaps they're not committing to this push just yet.
Yeah, and Oxford are being quite sensible in that they're not, committing loads of men to long. I feel that Cambridge are probably a little bit too late now to do anything really major on long. We'll see.
They have brought all the men now back to long, and with the clock winding down, they've got to try and make a play somewhere.
Yep, so it looks
John
like they are
spams
going
a
for
car
it.
and he secures that spot. He's going to keep coming around, but the smoke stops him from spotting Dow. He knows there's a man on short, but he's not going to get him through the smoke, and that's a fantastic headshot from John. He goes for another one. He's not able to get it, and he's going to have to drop back behind the boxes, but Restylane knows he's there. Restylane's able to get the headshot on 5-7, though, who'd followed in behind him before he's traded out by John. That's going to make a 3-on-4 retake for Oxford, but it's doable. They have to take this one before they, in order to try and get some rounds together and get some economy. The Button is able to get Wolframe, but he's traded out, and John gets another kill onto Glasses through the smoke. It's just the Button with the FAMAS versus the 3 AKs, and he doesn't get far as Dobby gets the better of him down at long.
I mean, Lil Jon is just being fairly monstrous this game.
Him and Dobby are very much 2v5ing Oxford right now.
Yeah, just absolutely smashing those entry frags.
The fragging power is enormous.
Yeah, and I mean, in that scenario, Oxford probably could have committed an extra man to A. When that smoke went down on crossover, they needed to rotate a bit quicker.
I'm interested to see the change in the AWP. I mean, earlier on they were playing on John in Mirage, but this time Warfare is taking the AWP. And Button's caught out there at car by Dobby. There's another rotation coming in at window, but he's not going to spot the planter, and he has actually taken... He does take 5-7. Glasses drops back. He's got 2 kills. He wallbangs Dobby as well. That's an excellent performance there with the P250 from window. And I guess they have to get the frags here with the P250 armor. They've got to try and get something from this force up. Lil Jon with the Tech 9 now, able to hold down the fort. He's on a... Lil Jon is going huge this game on a 3k.
Wow.
And he gets the 4k. Lil
Wow.
Jon single-handedly carrying Cambridge on his back to the 8th round of the half.
Lil Jon is a crazy guy. He is absolutely smashing it.
We're just saying how hard he's fragging this game.
Yeah.
He rips out a 4k.
Yeah.
Can we start talking about how shit he is? And then hopefully he similarly follows suit. In the interest of my university.
Yeah, and Oxford don't have any money, and they're on another, semi-eco round
Lil
now.
Jon drops down, he's playing for long doors control, and they don't flash him. He could get a double kill here, and he's not able to finish it. He gets rest line.
I love how we haven't changed off Lil Jon, in about 3 rounds.
It's just all happening, this guy is wild. And he's the thing, he walks into a 2v1 and he gets out with 34 HP and a frag. I wonder if Oxford are as scared of him as we are. And they should be, because the guy's a monster. And with just the P250s, Pollock and Dal and Glasses are going to try and make something happen here. Desperately trying to wallbang Pollock. But Dal sneaks across from the side and is able to get the headshot onto Lil Jon. And that shuts it down to a 4v3.
Oh, nice.
There's another kill for Dal with the P250. He's showing quite some skill with the weapon, but he is shut down by Dobby. 5-7 also gets the better of Glasses, and that just leaves it to Pollock, who gets another exit frag on Dobby. And this is a much better exit frag performance than Oxford than we've been seeing in previous rounds. And, they get some economic damage done.
Yeah.
3 kills.
Did very well to get those
P250
kills. Yeah, and we've got the last round coming out now, so everyone's just going to buy up. Still, money isn't amazing on the Oxford side. They're going to have to be very sensible here and sort of just try and defend their best.
And there's a point aid on the button.
Oh, well,
What's he using that for?
Just sure he's just using up his money, to be honest. And there's going to be a rush coming in on B here. And well
both
done.
sides
They've done well
flash
to
each
repel
other.
that. They've done well to hold that off.
Change their minds. maybe not today. So they do spin around into lower. The bomb goes over to 5-7, who seems to have been the bomb donkey for quite a lot of this half.
Lil Jon again, he just doesn't give a shit, does he?
Peeks in the mid and he just gets the button. He has such faith in his aim. He doesn't take a single point of damage, which is strange for a player of the buttons rank. Gets the spray as well onto Restaurant through the smoke. Drops into the site. He spots the man at fence. He's not able to finish it. So over to the Tech 9. Instant headshot. Glasses has no chance. And that leaves Pollock in a 1v4.
This is just carnage. It's just carnage from
How many
Jon.
kills did Jon? That was another 3k, by the way, from Jon. He finishes with 23k.
I mean, his shoulders must be sore from all that carrying.
Yeah, is Jon smurfing?
Well, who knows? Maybe JW's sitting upstairs.
yeah, they did bring him in after all. Wow. And let's see what he's got in store for us on the pistol round.
I mean,
should we just keep the camera on him?
I think Oxford have,
comparatively, Dal, who's been going huge for Oxford in previous maps, is sitting there on only 10 kills and 2 assists. So they haven't really got the big fragging power to compete with Jon's stretch of domination over this game in the last few rounds.
And the thing is, it's going to be very difficult to shut him down because he's just got so much confidence now. We saw in that last round, he just waltzed out of mid and just killed everyone.
Yeah, I mean, it's a factor that people often don't appreciate when they're slagging off their favourite professional team for aiming terribly on a map. But your confidence, your stress levels are actually physically proven big factors in your reaction times and aim.
And yeah, absolutely. And because Restaline, I know, is a great player. I play with him all the time. He's legendary Eagle or 1 up from that, so he's a high ranked player, and he's not fragging well. And his confidence can't be great at the moment.
He's taken that box spot several times, and it's just not working for him. I would really like to see him.
I've not seen him do that before. I'm not kind of sure what he's thinking when he's doing that.
They're off CT now, but I would really like to see him finding better alternatives.
Well, we can hear them talking now. They're discussing strategies. They're obviously still in this game. They still want to win it. And
Do
we
you think
see
this pause might be a tactical time?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. For Oxford.
Yeah, for sure. I think Cambridge are probably relatively calm now going into the second half. All they need to do is hold, really. They've shown great holding abilities on Inferno.
10-5 on T, Dust Side 2. Cambridge, they've only got to win another 6 rounds on CT to make up the game.
Yeah, so let's see.
You've got to favour them.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if Oxford can take this pistol round, they're going to be in a good spot, though. And they do some interesting stuff on their pistol rounds we've seen.
Think not just a good spot, I think it's if Oxford don't take this pistol round, they are in deep trouble.
Yeah, relatively so.
They get the pistol rounds, they beat the force, they can take it to 8-10, and then it's anyone's game.
What are you thinking about what Oxford are going to do on this pistol round? We've seen some wacky stuff.
Yeah, we've seen some pretty fruity T-side pistol strats from Oxford, but maybe they'll just go for the B rush because it worked for Cambridge.
Yeah.
And looking at the spawn, Dal is in a really good position here to rush B, and he's been entry fragging pretty well for them. So
I could see the B rush coming. I could definitely see it coming. Again, more technical issues, I think.
Dal is also probably not going to entry frag because he's picked up so many nades. He's got two flashes and a smoke there, so they are perhaps looking two smokes even. So they're looking perhaps to make a slightly more tactical play on this pistol round.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, those could be kind of after plant type smokes, smoking off that the B doors. Hopefully help them secure the bomb site if they do decide to go B. We'll see what they do. And looking at Cambridge, they've just gone standard. They're buying armour. All they need to do now is keep their cool and hold, and not give Oxford too much to play with early on. If they do lose that first round, Cambridge, Oxford will be in a good spot, and they'll have the adrenaline running high.
So what do you think's going on in the minds of Cambridge right now? What are they going to do to close this one out?
I think they're chilling. I think they're probably confident. I mean,
it's been quite a turnaround for them, hasn't it, in the series?
Yeah, their confidence must be crazy at the moment, after the incredible bad manner that we saw from Oxford early on.
Well, I hate to say it, but when they were buying the Negevs and the Zeuses, Oxford were almost, that's when they were dominating Cambridge. Yeah. And since they've started taking the game seriously, they're now in quite a hole. And maybe actually Oxford need to retain a bit of their swagger and try and pull this one back and get Cambridge sort of mentally out of it again. And Warfarin is apparently a CT on both sides.
This is
it's
interesting.
probably a spectator bug.
Yeah,
but
no, I think what's happened is that they've had to restart the round because when they disconnected,
of course.
I think it missed the buy for one of the players.
It looks like they are. Are they? No, they're not underway.
So unfortunately, I think the score will be reset here.
Polycon's also not back on the server yet.
So we'll just have to keep an eye on the scores. It was 10-5 to Cambridge.
Check out another look at the scoreboard's reset. The round started, but I think it was 23 frags on John.
Yeah, Lil John is just
in a half.
Yeah,
so 15 rounds. So he's averaging at least a kill every round.
What did your hip hop module have to say about Lil John? The rapper.
I'm afraid.
Did they say he was adept at Counter-Strike?
I feel like this perhaps reveals the fact that I'm a nerd that has no friends and spends all his time inside playing Counter-Strike. But I don't know who Little John is.
You don't know who Lil John is?
No.
Okay.
Should I? I thought he's a character in Robin Hood, right?
No, yes, he is.
The Disney film. Oh, the Spawn camp coming out from Cambridge.
He's the guy who kind of invented Crunk.
What?
The rap.
What in God's name is Crunk?
Crunk.
Any Crunk fans in attendance?
It is Crunk, isn't it? The genre of crazy, just rap music. It's a type of rap music.
Baz, I shall see to your superior gangster credentials.
I think he's from Atlanta.
Oh, that's quite a nice headshot from Pioneer.
And that's a picture of him there. That is Lil John, yeah. That is Lil John.
It all makes sense.
Yeah.
I've not seen what any of the Cambridge players look like, so I legit thought that could have been John.
Probably a good thing.
Could have been John. Does Pioneer look like a nebula? Would be the next question.
Is that a nebula?
You've got a face like a nebula. Ooh!
I think a nebula is quite beautiful, actually.
Shots fired. Still no Polycon on the server. And, there's been a number of issues with his PC and the CPU overheating.
This is going to be super frustrating for Oxford, and I'm fairly certain if they do lose, we'll be hearing the excuses about the PC.
Yeah, they'll all be coming out.
Yeah.
Well, they've got a long bus journey home to soak up the flame.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day,
OMG, you FKN noobs.
I don't think they can blame. If they do lose, they can blame their rigs because they've done some really dumb shit in this game.
They really have.
Yeah. The bad man.
The thing is, the really dumb shit they did in game one actually worked pretty well. Maybe they've got too many brain cells.
I think that game one just completely got them overconfident.
Switch off a bit of the grey matter and go back to going full matchmaking.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you that weren't here, Oxford absolutely smashed on the first map. They won 16-1. They went into the second map with a lot of confidence, and they struggled and they lost. And I think that's what's kind of screwed them over a little bit.
So, certainly in the edge of the momentum edge is definitely over to Cambridge, and after that 10-5 tee half, it's just theirs to win it.
Yeah, absolutely.
What can Oxford do to stop them? I mean,
they need good strategies. They need, well executed smokes.
I think perhaps they're suffering as well from they really have not been going for the AWP very much. And on Mirage, it was less of a difficulty because of their fast executes.
I mean, I'm
Perhaps
always...
they paid for it more on Inferno with the mid-control problems that they had.
Yeah.
And then on this map, with the double AWP setups coming out sometimes on CT, you have to wonder where the AWP strength is going to come from.
I think that's a fair point, is that I think the CTs will, because we have seen them using the AWPs in this series, I think they will be bringing out AWPs, and that's going to be quite tricky for Oxford. But I'm more of the opinion that if you don't have anybody on the team who is particularly good at AWPing, just don't bother. And I think that's what's happened to Oxford. I know Restalion is a good AWPer, but he's kind of, he's trying to take on that role of in-game leader as well. I don't think he's going to want to AWP on top of that.
Yeah. What do you think Restalion is saying to his team right now, as the captain in IGL?
I think they're probably running over some strategies. Probably.
And don't forget, the Oxford side that we saw on Mirage had a wonderful variety of very creative key strats.
Well, that's what I mean.
So they might have the
they've practiced some stuff. So I think they'll be reminding who smokes where, who goes where.
And a pretty nice pick. Guess another one.
It's going to come down to the pistol round though. I mean, Oxford really need to win the pistol round.
He gets wall banged with the skull.
God.
The Zeus from the button. He loves that Zeus.
I love the noise the guy makes when he dies from the Zeus.
I don't know. I'll have to let someone electrocute me with the Zeus and see what sound I make.
Yeah.
Actually, doesn't sound like it'd be very
pleasant.
I'm not going to do that.
It only just occurred to me that it's called a Zeus because it's like electricity, and Zeus is like the god of thunder, isn't he?
No way.
Literally just occurred to me.
Yeah, it's because the god Zeus, instead of a big he had a Zeus.
Yeah.
He
had a Zeus.
He had the first Zeus, and that's who it's based on.
That's not true.
Is it? You saying you know Zeus?
Yeah.
I do.
Zeus.
Yeah, he's got a Zeus. No, I misses the pick. This is what we're reduced to. We're commentating on an unready warm-up. Polican's PC is clearly being given the once-over. They might have to... The problem is that the backup laptop that they have up there is already being used by Restalion. No, it's not. No, they got the CPU cooler screwed back onto his computer. So it may be that he is being reinstalled on the warm-up laptop, which would mean that he's got to copy across his configs.
And I think this speaks to something that's always been frustrating for me in Counter-Strike as an esport, is technical difficulties. I don't know if this happens as much in Dota and LoL. Does it? Because
generally not.
No, and I think one of the big issues is that Counter-Strike players are so particular about their setups and their rigs. If you don't have your sensitivity perfect, it's going to throw your game off. And then it becomes a mental thing if you don't have your mouse that you usually use, and you're not fragging. You start blaming it on the mouse, and it's really important as a CS player to get your rig completely perfect.
They play much longer warm-up periods than some of the other esports here today.
Yeah, and I think, but that also kind of speaks to it's difficult to get organised Counter-Strike LANs because of all these problems and how long everything takes. So
apparently they've rebooted 6 times upstairs now. And he's still not going too well.
He's on the server.
But Polican is back on the server, and hopefully he's here for good this time, so that we can finally get back underway with this best of 3.
Yeah. I mean, he's not their best player. They could probably go without him, couldn't they? 4v5. Sorry, Polycon, if you can hear me.
It seems a funny thing to say with all the technical difficulties, but we are very grateful at this event to Intel, who've supplied us with a big raft of towers to play all the games today on. Sometimes these things just happen, but we probably couldn't have run it without their backing, without a lot of people bringing towers from Oxford, which is a pain. So we're very grateful to them. And also to our other sponsors, ESL and Twitch, who have funded the venue and also a lot of the transport here for the Oxford players and spectators. So big shout out to them.
Big ups to Twitch.
And hopefully they'll continue their support of this event.
Okay, so they need 2 minutes.
Well, yeah, and now it's Cambridge who aren't quite ready. So
expecting another crash in 2 minutes. I think they're being, think.
They've got 2 minutes. They've got
I wonder if this is going to affect Oxford going back into the game. If they're just going to be frustrated and annoyed.
They've got to change something up, right? Because they were just trying to play passive. I think, really, John, it's the big flaw of that whole half was the spacing. The 2-1-2 just wasn't working for them, and rest of the line got picked out several times in mid. It's a weak spot to hold mid from, and if they've been playing 3 over on the A-bomb site, 1 on the usual angle from mid, peeking off to the right along doors or mid doors, and then 1 in on the B side, it might have given them a bit more security. I guess perhaps they were just scared of a quick push onto B.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always in favour of having 2 people in B early on in the round. If it's not a B rush, just have one of the other guys in B drop down to mid, and then he can be supported by someone like Rest in CT Spawn or something.
See, I was play 1 there. You have your mid guy there. 2 go long doors to the challenge, and then you've got someone watching short. This guy can spot out a short attack, which is another advantage they didn't have. They didn't have the vision advantage on it. He can spot out short, and then you have the flank onto short. If that's coming, you've got the easy rotate back onto B. These players can come down through short and then tunnels to B, which is a much stronger rotate.
Yeah, I like doing
than
that.
Coming up mid because you're not as open to being picked off from window.
I mean, that's pretty much what they were doing. It's just that second B player quite often was left on his own because Button got picked off early on in B.
Yeah.
So they were always
picked a lot.
Yeah. They were always kind of down to 4 men, and they just couldn't really hold.
Couldn't stand up to the entry frags of John.
Yeah.
And it looks like all 5 of them have been in the server for more than 2 minutes, so Polican might feel he's okay to get started. And they are going to ready up.
Okay, cool. So it was 10-5. They're going to have to reset the scores now, which is a bit of a pain.
Yeah. So there will be a bit of messing around while we get the server sorted out once all the players ready up. But we will be leaping back into it at 10-5. Oxford have got quite a task on their hands to try and pull this game back.
Yeah.
They've just got to shake it up.
Yeah.
Win the pistol rounds, take it 1 round at a time, and see if they can finish out ahead.
I'm excited to see what they do on their pistol round because that's going to be the make or break. I think they'll do something. They could do something gimmicky. They could do something interesting.
I hope so. Come on, it's the last pistol round they're playing at Varsity.
Give us some entertainment.
They've got to do something like a Tac 9 train.
Yeah.
Rush long, don't stop.
I think this series though has been the most. This map, has been the most balanced of the series.
Oh, there's the Zeus.
I think both teams, they know what they're doing. Oh, here we go.
The match is now live, and we're finally back into it. We pretend that this is coming from the half because of the resets.
So we've got armor on all of them, apart from Dal on the T side.
No Tech 9s coming out. That's a slightly conservative choice from Oxford.
And yet, this is what I anticipate they might do. They're going to hold.
You see the early stack long there. They sent 3 down just in case of a possible push.
Yeah.
But they're not going to find anything, which means that they're probably expecting B.
And here they go for the delayed
B
rush.
Fence, and he does check fence, and he gets the man. Rest of line with a great close range headshot there onto Warfare, and they're going to see what they can get done through the mid doors, but they're smoked off very quickly, and this will be the plant for Oxford. Yeah, and he's planting it safely away from window. John just seeing what he can do, but that's rest of line going for that tiny pick angle between the boxes onto John. He's not going to get it, but Polican is able to pick up Dobby as he tries to push through the doors. There's another push through doors. And 5-7 and Pona are able to pick up 2 kills. Rest of line gets 5-7, but he can't pick up Lil John.
Oh no!
And the button finally goes down as well.
That was really messy holding from Oxford. They weren't watching all the spots properly.
It was just slightly messy post-plant positions. I think they had a man just jumping around
The rest of the land had a lot of work to do there. He was watching door and window, and kind of he wasn't getting super helped out by his team.
Boxes, maybe corner. They even got 4 of them into the site, so you could have a man here.
They had a great situation. It was a 4v4. They had the bomb down on B.
It's almost like they didn't know what their designated post plants were.
Exactly. I imagine.
Do you think perhaps they haven't practiced us too?
Well, maybe not to the extent at which they'll have designated post plants on B, post plant positions. Sorry.
I mean, it was so long they never really got set up, and that's what cost them the round. There is going to go a bit of spray here through the smoke, hoping to try and tag up. But Pona isn't able to get it. Button, however, does take a big chunk of damage from that nade. He is going to just back off from the long doors for now. He has got his favourite tool, the Zeus, in his armoury, ready.
Has he I mean, what is he doing?
This is Button's 6th Zeus of the series,
It makes me think that he's not taking it seriously, to be honest.
Not counting the warm-up Zeuses, of which there have been many. And, yeah, no, Mirage has got so many long-range angles. I'm somewhat sceptical as to how Button is going to find any use to Zeus. He pushes out and he's taken down, Tech 9 versus FAMAS. Unless you get the instant headshot, that's going to go to the FAMAS. Meanwhile, over at the B side, there have been a few kills going down, but now they're just holding firm. It's 3-on-2 with a push into tunnels from Lil Jon here. He's holding short, and he's going to spot, and he does get Polycan. And that's a relatively long range angle, actually, the MP7. So
he loves the MP7, actually, Lil Jon.
And he's got the bomb down. It does give a $600 kill reward, and it is very, very broken since the buffs.
Yeah.
So, especially on CT, if you can pick it up and get a couple of kills, you can get your economy started really quickly. And Glasses is called out, checking mid instead of checking CT, and he goes down as well. So that's Cambridge now on 12 rounds.
That's really interesting, actually. It's going to be so tricky for Oxford to get back into this.
Cambridge just 4 rounds away from an unlikely, very, very well-earned victory.
Yeah. And I think Lil Jon has got to be man of the match because he's just unbelievably good. He's just been smashing them.
Even just in the ESPL, Pona is fragging quite well as well, but he's even picked up an MVP star already. Just can't keep him down. There is a bit of spray here going through the smoke both ways, but it's not going to land on anyone. Meanwhile, the terrorists make a bold play for mid, and they catch the Dobby out of position who rotated. The Dobby comes back, they don't check it, and he's able to pick up Button and lay an awful lot of damage onto Restaurant and Polycon. They're just on 1 and 6 HP, 7 between the two of them, and somehow they escape with their lives. That very easily could have been a 3k for Dobby. He's flashed, so is Warfare, and they're forced to back off from the tunnel entrance. Glasses has to entry frag because he's the only one with any health, but he goes down instantly, and Warfare almost by accident picks up the 1 health Rester line. And that leaves just Dal and Polycon, who is very, very tagged up, to try and clutch this round. They are still hanging around here at B, and they're compelled to because they've got to try and get that bomb back, but they're now CTs swarming over the bomb, and Pona is just able to get that last pick in mid.
Oxford are going to be so frustrated. I think they've had technical difficulties and all that, but
and it does really disrupt your momentum.
They've let Lil Jon just dominate them more than anything. They've been a bit silly with some of the strategies they've been running.
This is now the Scar coming out for Warfare.
Okay, well.
And we just see where that Scar is sent. I know you can hold box into tunnels very easily with a Scar. It's also a great weapon to have on short. You can't really go for the mid pick for it, but I mean, they should know there's no warps on Oxford if their IGL is tracking the money properly, so they could do. And it's a really good time to buy that weapon actually, and you've got piles of cash.
Yeah, so, I mean, why not try and get more ahead by getting yourself a weapon like that?
There's the nade going over, but he's not going to find anyone.
Oxford don't really know what they're doing, I don't think. They're just...
Nades flying both ways over mid. They know each other are there, and he goes to the wall bang into the corner, but there's no one there to receive it. Lil Jon tagged down to only 5 HP, but the button does go down. Meanwhile, that's a great flash, and he's forced to back off mid. This could give the tease mid. But Dobby actually able to get the frag onto Glasses, and that sort of restores some control. And Oxford here, once again, looking in trouble. They're in a 3v5. Dobby and John tagged up, but they're still spread out very well. They're almost definitely sure this is not an A play, and with no map control, the terrorists have got to do something desperate here. Polycon, though, is able to pick up 5-7, which does open up short for the terrorists. They get a second kill as well onto Pona. That's a headshot, and that gives them
A is actually completely open. And they need to make a move.
If they rush in for A here, they've got a chance. CT spawn smoked off, but the man's already come out. Dal picks up Lil Jon as well. That's a big frag.
Okay,
and now it's a 3-on-2. Somehow Oxford have miraculously recovered this. Dal's going to sit long and try and pick up anyone coming from T-spawn. CT spawn. Dobby's forced to back off, and Warfare, and I imagine is probably going to want to save this very, very pricey gun he's got in his hands, especially as he's the last man standing. Instead, he's opted to push mid doors, long doors with a auto sniper.
Yeah, Oxford.
Despite he's able to get the kill on Dal, and he on 26 HP.
They're going to want to get the gun off him here if they can.
There's any more exit frags in it for him. Yeah, they definitely want that gun.
But Oxford did really well to turn that around, actually.
So what was going on there in mid?
They were patient, and they just, they took a bit of advantage of Cambridge's cockiness there, let them peek a little bit too much at mid, and Polycon got a couple of nice frags, and Restline did as well. And A was completely open. They just took advantage of that.
I think what it was is that they sort of nailed the perfect amount of aggression back into mid. There wasn't a balls out.
It was measured, and
they checked the angles and they got the frags to equalise the round to 3-3, and then they took it from there.
Okay.
So Restline and Dow again, sort of playing very well.
The thing is, I think they're going to start to realise how easy it is for them to get mid control here. There's nobody watching mid. No one's pushing short aggressively. It's super easy for the teams to get mid control.
And they might be assuming a push up here on short. I think they're well positioned to deal with it though. Yeah, we've got Pona watching CT and short. Lil Jon down there in the pit. Dobby has come across to watch mid. 5-7 is the one holding the goose angle. He doesn't get any damage down there, but he knows there's a few there. Sprays off a few more shots. Rest of line's playing it very carefully, but John is able to pick up Dow. And that's a big frag, and that's narrowed it down to a 5v4. Oxford perhaps maybe better served to back off here and quickly take the bomb to B while there's time, but they're going to keep pushing here up short. Now they are backing off down mid, but the time is running out. Remember in Inferno we had a round where Oxford simply derped around the map not knowing where to put the bomb, and hopefully we're not going to see a repeat of it now. That's another frag onto onto Polycon from Dobby. Lil Jon follows up onto Button, and now they're stuck in a 2v5. What can Restline and Glasses pull out here? And Pona gets a fantastic long-range frag through the smoke. Glasses is able to return onto Dobby, but he's in a 1v4. And surely even Glasses, who top fragged for the Mirage, can't pull anything out here. The sub with a dream, the sports film main star. But he can't do it, and he's taken down with a disrespect headshot from the pistol by Warfaring.
Again, Cambridge did a great job
now
holding.
On 14 rounds, one more, and they've taken this to tie point.
Oxford, they tried to do what they'd done in the previous round. They were trying to kind of get some picks, trying to take it a bit slow. It wasn't working though. They couldn't get anything. Cambridge are playing very sensibly. They're holding. They're not giving anything away. And Oxford, I don't really see a way of them breaking them. They need to try a mid to B, I think, a really aggressive mid to B strategy.
I'd really like to highlight 5-7, who the Golden Over sub, who has come in and has done just a magnificent job of on the last map he fragged pretty well. On this map he's done a fairly good job of holding goose, and he's not letting the elo scare him. There is a bit of action here going on to the B bomb site. Frags going both ways, and now Pona and Lil Jon are left here frantically rotating across from the A bomb site to see if they can get a retake going on B, and I think they'll probably go for it. They've got such a big round buffer over Oxford and so much cash in the bank. There's no reason not to. John goes for a spray, but he's not able to get anything. He does pick up the scar for a second, thinks the better of it. I think that's probably a good idea.
You don't want that in this situation.
Pona puts the flash through window and the HG, but they spin it right back to door. So nearly catches out Restline, but Pona does it anyway. Polycon picks up John, and now it's just the 5-7 in the hands of Pona. He fits back to the M4A1S, gets the reload. 2v1, can he manage this retake? He doesn't spot the man in time, and Glass is able to pick him up. And that's finally another round for Oxford on the board.
I missed the take actually there from Oxford, but they managed to get nicely into the B bomb site and did a much better job of holding B than they have done in previous rounds.
And the T's though still on somewhat of a force buy, although they did steal that auto sniper. They've got the button on the Galil and a restricted number of nades. Meanwhile, on the CTs, there's a bit of a weird force buy coming out. They've got rifles on 3 players, but then a armor P250 on Dobby X. And no head armor on Pona, but I suppose head armor's not essential.
Nice pick onto Warfare.
I guess the headshot onto Warfare, and that looks like it opens up mid and B for them. The bomb's currently around, and Dow gets another pick onto Little John, and all of a sudden, Oxford have got plenty of options.
Oxford just need to chill out now. They've got 2 picks. They're in a good spot. They just, they don't want to blow their load too early. I didn't want to say that. I was trying to think of another.
Oh no, and that's the button with a team kill with the Galil on Restline. Dow though picks up the headshot onto 5-7, and now it's just Pona with his M4A1S to see if he can do some poning over here at the B bomb site. I think he'll probably try and back off with the weapon, but there's a man behind him, and Pona still is able to get the trade out on Dow. Pona looks like he's thinking about it. Yeah, he does see if he can get a frag onto mid. Spots Glasses, but Glasses has got the auto sniper. That's not when you're going to win with an M4A1S.
Yeah, I mean, could be seeing
the scar to good work.
Could be seeing a comeback here, maybe from Oxford. They don't have any money now, Cambridge.
It's now 6 frags on Restline to 0 on the button. The button's really, he's been money screwed, to be honest, more so than his teammates, but he's really not showing up this round. He's wasting too much money on the Zeus's, Not perhaps thinking enough about actually minding his own play.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with him.
Talking of the Zeuses, we have yet another Zeus out on Restaline. These guys love that Zeus. But 5-7 and Dobby are able to pick up a kill on the button, which is really good going for, especially as he had the, I think he may have the auto summon, it was on the glasses, but they do trade out kills onto 5-7 and John, and now it's just Dobby, Warfare and Epona to see what they can do. Warfare jumps out along doors, gets a few shots off onto Dal. Dal takes a few more shots from long, and he's got too many angles to cover. This could be him going down, and he is taken from behind by Warfare. Glasses, meanwhile, gets a kill. Let's go wallbang onto Epona. Warfare and Epona, though, respond onto Glasses, and they've leveled it up to a 2v2 with a weapon in the hands of Dobby. Bomb is down, however, at B. In the midst of all that chaos, Polygon sneaks in there with the bomb and gets a great plant, and the CTs are in no kind of position to challenge it. They simply back off with the Scar and the AK.
Yeah, this next round is going to be huge for Oxford.
How did they sneak that one in? I didn't catch it.
Well, I mean, I think it was just Cambridge were eco. They were completely eco. They didn't really have much to work with. Now, Cambridge had money.
Oxford level things up to 14-9.
Yeah, I mean, if Oxford can take this round, they're in actually a really good spot.
They've got an AWP coming out for the first time on Glasses.
Well, that's interesting.
And let's see where they're going to take this weapon. He's going for the... Oh, no, Warfare takes a chunk of damage there. And he's then smoked off, but he's simply going to draw back and see what he can get done. He just can't find the heads, which is what he's after. Meanwhile, the bomb has been taken into upper tunnels, and it looks like it might be heading towards B. There's only one man, and he's looking into mid. They're possibly poised to catch him off guard. They're edging around there with the AWP. Glasses hoping to try and get the pick on the lone man on B. And you see, I was talking quickly earlier about the more default CT setup on this map, and that is what Cambridge are running. But Oxford seem to be having quite a bit of success against it. Dobby's flashed, but they don't take advantage of it to push through.
I mean, they're sort of setting up towards B.
50 seconds on the clock.
Yeah, are we going to see a mid to B? Yeah, it looks like we're going to see a mid to B. They've smoked off CT spawn, so they're going to come out mid doors now. And yes, really nice
Dow
frag.
gets the instant headshot onto
They
Warfare.
should commit. They should
completely
commit
shutting
now.
down the auto sniper.
They don't really have the time to be kind of messing around.
They've got B if they want it.
And this is exactly what they're doing. This is great, actually, really nice idea.
Doesn't go whoa, and
ooh,
Dobby gets a second kill. Dobby 1v3 holds the bomb site. He's just held them off, but the rotators are coming in so quickly, and he's planning for door, which perhaps isn't the best location. Lil Jon, though, doesn't push through quickly enough to get the frag, and he's traded by Restaline. 5-7 picks them up from the tunnels. It's a 2v2 for tie point. Cambridge could possibly take this to 15 rounds here.
What's he doing?
The button has got a big task here. He can't see Epona. He's trying to bait out the defuse. Can he stop them for long enough? He pulls out the Zeus, and there's the defuse coming down from Epona. He's got to jump in now, or it's all over for Oxford. And he's taken out by 5-7. And that is that is Cambridge on 15 rounds. Match point for Oxford.
Oh, he doesn't have
Match
it.
point for Cambridge. No, they don't have the defuse.
That's unreal.
So what I think happened there somehow is that 5-7 may have looked up.
Yeah.
So you have to be looking within a 30-degree angle of the bomb for the defuse to go down.